guess you didn't know. As I said, the story goes. Baby, now I got the flow. Cause I knew it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come again and show you that I'm winning. You lied to me. All those times I said that I loved you. You lied to me. Yes, I tried. Yes, I tried. You lied to me. Even though you knew I'd die for you. You lied to me. Yes, I cried. Yes, I cried. Return of the man. Return of the man. Come on. Return of the man. Oh my God. Return of the man. Here I am. Return of the man. Once again. Return of the man. Top of the world. Return of the man. Watch my flow. Return of the man. Here I go. So I'm back up in the day. Running thanks to take my swine. Letting all the people know that I'm back to run the show. Cause what you did you know was wrong. And all the nasty things you've done. So baby, listen carefully while I sing my comeback song. You lied to me. She said she'd never turn on me. You lied to me. But you did. But you did. You lied to me. All this pain you said I'd never feel. You lied to me. But I do. But I do. Return of the man. Return of the man. Return of the man. Don't you know? Return of the man. Here I go. Return of the man. A little girl. Return of the man. What's my pearl? Return of the man. Up and down. Return of the man. Round and round.
Look, stop lying about your big break. For God's sake, I need a real man.
The return of the man.
Stop letting me down. Stop letting me down.
You lied to me. She said she'd never turn on me. You lied to me. But you did. But you did. You lied to me. All this pain you said I'd never feel. You lied to me. But I do. But I do. Return of the man. Return of the man. Come on. Return of the man. Oh my God. Return of the man.
All right. What's going on, family? Welcome to the Tariq Elite Show right here live on Ustream, everybody. I'm glad to have everybody tuning in. We are here. We're early. I was supposed to be here at 6 o'clock. I had some food coming, so my food got here a little late, but I'm here. It's 6:30 on the, well, 6:40 now on the West Coast. But I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm ready to do my thing, and we're going to chop up some real good game tonight. I got on the brand new Tariq Elite shirt, the Tariq Elite dress shirt. The ladies are loving the Tariq Elite dress shirts. The ladies are loving them. You can get the Tariq Elite dress shirts at TariqElite.com. The shirts are fly. Oh yeah, the buttons up, the button up of it's fly. The ladies like it. The ladies love it. These shirts are fly. I had them designed. So what is that, velvet? This is cone cotton. This is cone cotton. So we're very meticulous in the design. We wanted the design to be real fly. And we're making it do what it do. Ladies and gentlemen, let me get up here in the chat room. So we got a lot to talk about tonight, family. I'm glad everybody's tuning in. People are coming on up in the room. Like I said, I got my Easter button up. Hilarious. Ah, man. But yeah, you can get that at TariqElite.com. No. Ah, man. No taco meat here. I'm not showing no taco meat. And again, go to TariqElite.com. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Let me shout out some people in the chat room before I get started. Yeah, I look like a salesman. Hilarious. We got Double Diva. Let me make Double Diva a mod before I even get started. What did Jay Prince say? What is Jay Prince doing? Rhinos trolling. I ate some Chipotle. I got some burrito sauce on my teeth. All right, so I'm making Double Diva a mod. What's up, Garbyite? What's up, Big Dan? What's up, Soldier? What's up, A1? What's up, Fox? What's up, For Show BXNY? Amaze. Thank you very much, Outbounds. You can have a nice shirt like this, too, at TariqElite.com. You can get your shirt at TariqElite.com. I'm trying to make sure I ain't got no burrito on my teeth, because I just say that's what I was rushing to do. I was rushing to eat. I was going to get it popping at 6 o'clock. Then I had to get my food on so I can really chop up game. Yeah, I saw the Donald Sterling tape. We're going to get right into it. I'm waiting. When we get to around 800 people, we're at 600 already. When we hit 800 people, then I'm going to go ahead and talk about the whole Donald Sterling tape. And then we're going to get into Clive Bundy. We're going to get into all of that. And actually, it was a Chipotle bowl, that little chicken bowl at Chipotle. Yeah, but people are coming on in the room. When we get to 800, we'll talk about it. We'll be in 800 in about 5 minutes. People are coming in the room fast. We got to like almost 700 people in like 2 minutes already. So we'll get there. When we get to 800 people, then we'll chop it up. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great weekend this weekend. Shout out to all the ladies in the room. All the ladies press 5. All the ladies press 5. If you're in the room, ladies press 5. Let me know you're in here. You say, why African Americans so submissive? We're going to talk about that. That's a very good question because I've seen some very disgraceful, submissive, cowardly behavior coming from a lot of black folks this past week. Not just this past week, but it's just been emphasized this past week. I've seen some of the most cowardly behavior and passive behavior. So we got a lot to talk about. All right, we're almost at 800. When we get to 800, let me know. What's up, lady? We got Jasmine. What's up, Jasmine Sky? D Cook. What's up, Sassy Ree? All Smiles. What's up with you? Royal American Dana. Maloney. Shout out to you, young lady. But we're going to talk about that. We're almost at 800. Let me know when we get to 800. Yeah, I did see what the Clippers did at the game. They took off they wore their sweaters inside out. And then they threw their jerseys in the middle of the, their warm-up jerseys in the middle of the court. Well, this shirt is looking fly. I feel like going to a goddamn salsa club or some shit in this shirt. I feel like going somewhere and doing something. You put this on, make you want to go out and just get into some activities. Nigga want to just go do something. Go to a kickball game or go to a bullfight or something. Shit, go to a damn illegal pit bull fight. Go somewhere with this fly-ass shirt. I put the shirt on to let everybody know how fly it is. Now I want to get out of here and hit the town. How many we got? We almost at 800. When we get to 800, we're going to chop it up. Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen is on Coon Reserve. We got at him a little bit on the Coon train. But he said some real stuff about the whole situation with Donald Sterling. So Steve dips in and out. But I like Stephen A. Smith. I really do. I got a lot of respect for him. But sometimes he toys with the Coon train a little bit. That's why we had to put him on in there. What's up, Sassy Reed? Thank you, love. Thank you, beloved. Yeah, so he's on Coon Reserve. E-Music, go to the website and check it out. The shirt's on sale right now at TariqElite.com. The shirts are on sale at TariqElite.com. We got the blue, we got like a burgundy color, we got black. Real fly, the material is real fly. I had a design to just accentuate your masculinity. You did have to, I hate to see clothes and shirts, you put it on and the shit look like you work as a fucking janitor or something. And ain't nothing wrong with janitors. I wanted something to really contour your masculinity and bring your mojo out. We're almost at 800. We got 10 more. Let's count it down. We're almost at 800. We're going to get over 1,000 tonight, but we're going to chop it up at 800. Yeah, I think you can wash it in the washing machine. You can put it in the washing machine. You know, you just can't put your lady's thong in there with it because them dookie stains start mixing in with this cotton and it ain't going to come out right. Dookie stains takes the color out of this, so you got to wash it by itself. You did. You can't put your skid mark boxers in this motherfucker and wash it with this. Don't wash it with your skid marks, bro. You'll make this crown logo come off because the chemicals in the fecal matter. All right, so we're at over 800, man. So let's get into this. So we all know this whole situation, and everybody retweet that we're talking about this. We're going to talk about Cliven Bundy, and we're going to talk about Donald Sterling. Now, the Donald Sterling situation is a little more heavy. Oh, I got to... Hold on, Double Diva. Hold on, wait, Double Diva. I got to remod Double Diva, make my... All right, there we go. I got you, Double Diva. Excuse me. Now, we know about this situation with Donald Sterling. And a lot of people are shocked. A lot of black folks are really upset, as they should be. Because now a lot of black people are genuinely surprised that this is the way many white people talk about them in private. A lot of black people are very shocked by that. I'm not shocked worth a damn. Are all white people like that? Absolutely not. But this is the conversation that Donald Sterling had with his black girlfriend. And she's black. People like to throw that black Mexican and all that to try to dilute it. She's a black chick. She's black. She's mixed and all, but she's black. You know, you've seen pictures of her at those games. You know, she tries to play the whole Latina thing and all that, but you know, you be up in them games and it gets hot in that Staples Center and you start sweating out them edges. We see the African gene pool rolling through your little black ass. So she's black. Beautiful. But you're black. I mean, let's not play games. She's black. And a lot of people are shocked, black people, that this is the conversation that many white people still have about you when you're not around. Oh, have you seen that woman's edges? Oh, her edges are a beast. So she's one of those chicks. I'm assuming that her mom is a Latino. Her mom is Mexican and her dad is probably black because her mom didn't teach her how to use a pressing comb. Her mom didn't teach her how to use a flat iron correctly to get them edges. You know, a lot of those mixed girls, when they got textured hair, they don't know how to hit them edges right. If they got a mom who is not of the African American culture, they don't know how to get some of that less jam and some of that edge control. They don't know how to go get that Dr. Miracle. They don't know how to hook them edges up. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm assuming that her mother is a Mexican. Because this woman's edges, every time I see pictures of her, her edges look like a breakfast burrito. Yeah, she don't know how to do her edges. So she tries to comb, I guess that's a weave or whatever. She tries to comb the weave over them edges. But shout out to our Blaxican sister. That is our sister. That is our sister. And I'll get on her in a minute. But a lot of people are shocked that many white people have this view of them. They're shocked that white people, in 2014, many white people, and not all, again, some of my white brothers and sisters, I know you're not like that. I got white brothers and sisters, partners, friends who don't think like that. But they have the same views of you right now, black people, as they had in the 1800s. And that's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of black people. Because there's been this whole thing of us being in a post-racial America. Now, we know that we're not in a post-racial America, but this is the propaganda that's been spewed. And there are those in the dominant society who've been spewing this. Well, black people, your problem, you're your own problem. Racism doesn't exist. Racism doesn't exist no more. So people have been hiding their racism. That's the name of the game, is to hide your racism. Now, when you have the Clive and Bundys and Donald Sterling coming out, getting exposed, a lot of black folks are shocked. Now, black folks, you should be ashamed for being shocked. People in the dominant society are not shocked. They're like, fuck. Now they're like, okay, they're going to start looking at me sideways at work. That's how a lot of white people are looking, like, oh shit, when I go to work, Darnell is going to think that I'm like one of them, because I am, but I just don't want him to know it. You dig? So now, a lot of white people are getting nervous. Because the name of the game is that you're not, Sterling, he didn't quite break the rule because he was in the privacy of somebody's home. But he should have known better than to get found out and get put out there like that. And this is another bone to pick I have with some of the white brothers and sisters out there, because Donald Sterling is a bleeding white supremacist. Just a blatant white supremacist. And you have a lot of white supremacists who think and act just like him, and you guys never say anything about it. See, those in the dominant society who are not white supremacists, you protect dudes like him. You never point them out. You never expose those dudes. Sterling was a known racist. His racism goes back to the 80s. His racism goes back to the 80s. He's a known racist. And please don't think that the people, the top brass of the NBA franchise, you don't think that they don't know. Don't think they don't know. But the thing is, with this guy, it shocked a lot of people, black folks. And black folks should not have been shocked, because just because people have refined their white supremacy racism does not mean that it has gone away. And you notice President Barack Obama came out, I think it was today. Was it today when Obama spoke out a little bit about it? He said, well, there's ignorance and, you know, we still wrestle with race. Did y'all hear that? Obama did he was talking about it today. And I was wondering when I saw the tweets that the president was talking about the situation. He was chiming in on it. And I was wondering, why did the president chime in on it? That's very interesting. Because usually he stays away from stuff like that. But I found out why he did it. He did it when he was in Malaysia. The president is in Malaysia. And this story is huge. This is an international story. This story is international. And the rhetoric that America has been promoting to the world is that we've gotten past racism. Look, we got a black president, so racism doesn't exist here no more. We have democracy now. So now we can go to your country and bring democracy. Now that this story is coming out internationally, and you have a lot of celebrities speaking out now, which they should, the international community is like, hey, Barack Obama, I thought everything was cool and y'all had democracy over there in America. What's up with this? You got white supremacists talking about they don't want black people at their games, and they have a black team? What is that? Really, Barack? They're looking at Barack Obama like, really? So Barack Obama's playing cleanup, which is what his job was anyway. That's the job of Barack Obama. His job was to play cleanup for the racist image that America had. So he's just playing cleanup. Not that he cares one way or another, because I was wondering, Barack Obama really doesn't speak out for black issues. Excuse me, unless forced. But Barack Obama was talking about it overseas, and everybody's chiming in on it. Now, if the tape came out a couple of days ago, then a new one came out today, an extended version. Thank you very much, Nazea. See, the thing is, black people, what black people are hurt by this. You know why black people are hurt? Black people are hurt because after all this shucking and jiving you've been doing, after all this ass kissing or white people you've been doing, because lately black people have been some of the biggest ass kissers, suck butts, ass lickers, coons, and bedwenches for white people. After all of this that you've been doing, smiling and tap dancing, after all of this buck dancing, smiling and cooning, and passivity you've been displaying, this is what they still think about you. Let that sink in. This is what they still think about you. They still feel this way about you after all the ass licking you've been doing. Now, a lot of black people are hurt right now. Black people are very butthurt. Black people are butthurt like a motherfucker right now. And you should have known better. Even when we know what his comments were, Donald Sterling, there's still black people co-signing him. Shout out to Laz Alonso, who might be on the next coon train. What was the other guy? A player. He was on Twitter kind of playing the coon train role, talking about, what about black on black crime? He literally went to the coon train. I think he deleted his comment. But Brandon Jennings' ass, he deleted his comment though, after he said it. He went right to the coon train. Larry Elder don't count, by the way. Larry Elder doesn't count. White people don't even take him seriously. He's just not a factor. He's just there to deflect the conversation. Nobody takes Larry Elder seriously. Larry Elder tweeted some shit that he tweeted something to me on Twitter. What did he tweet to me? Some coon nigga shit. But nobody takes him seriously. Nobody takes Larry Elder seriously. Oh, I heard. Did you hear Jesse Lee Peterson on doing an interview with Umar Johnson? My brother Umar Johnson from the Hidden Colors series. He was on Jesse Lee Peterson's show, and Jesse was just a cooning. I'm so ashamed. There's so many black men out here who are cooning, and this is why we have the Negro bedwench phenomenon. Because of too many black men cooning, too many black men buck dancing. This is why we have the Negro bedwench phenomenon. And what's the lady's name? V. Stavato? What's the chick's name? I can't pronounce her name. The little Blaxican chick with the little rough edges. I can't pronounce her name. How do you pronounce her last name? It's V. Stefano? What is her name? V. Steviano, whatever her name is. Now, let me talk about her for a minute. Because Donald Sterling thinks like a plantation owner. He literally thinks like a plantation owner. He has the mindset of a plantation owner. I mean, the shit he's saying and the way he's getting down, he's a white supremacist who's laying up with a black woman who has a whole bunch of black people working for him, and he don't like black people. That sounds like the script for goddamn 12 Years a Slave. What's the difference between him and 12 Years a Slave? Or Calvin Candy from Django? The thing is this. V. Stefano, the Blaxican chick, I can't pronounce her name that good. Stiviano. Somebody call up and give me the pronunciation of this woman's name. I don't want to mispronounce her name. The number is 818-850-5404. Somebody call up and give me the pronunciation of her name. I don't want to butcher the woman's name. The number is 818-850-5404. But what she is, she's a double agent bedwench. She's my personal hero. I just call her V. V. She's my personal hero. Now, she's ratchet, of course. I mean, they say she's a gold digger, hoe, all that stuff. I'm not disputing that. You know, hoes are people too. I'm not a hoe hater. Even if she's a hoe, I'm not a hoe hater. There's pictures of her with Magic Don Magic Wand. So she knows the game. That's why I'm not mad at her. Hold on, let me find. I got a picture of her. There's a picture of her with Don Magic Wand. I'm so not mad at her. On her Instagram, he might have been mad because she was on Instagram with PIs. Hold on. Yeah, so she's hanging with, she knows the game. That's why she's hanging with the players. And listening to the tape, I know a motherfucker with some game. She got some game on her. That's why I'm not, a lot of people are that gold digging hoe. No, hoes are people too. Don't be a hoe hater. Ain't nothing wrong with hoes. Don't be a hoe hater. And listening to the tape, I respect her game. She was spitting at that trick ass nigga, Donald. Sterling. She was spitting at him. He was like, "Oh, honey, why are you bringing the blacks to the game? And why? Oh," she was like, "Oh, can I make it better, honey? I don't know. What can I do, baby?" She's spitting that hot fire at his trick ass. I'm not mad at her, but she's a double agent bedwench, and that's what we need. Now, look, she got caught out there. He probably, she knew she was about to get kicked to the curb, so she played, she kept her little trump card in her back pocket, and she played that trump card on his ass, which is good. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I did hear what he said about black Jews. I'll get on that in a minute. Remind me of that too, Mende. Please remind me of that. But like I said, look, this woman, she was going along with the program because she knew he was a racist. She knew he was a white supremacist. Looked like he was about to kick her to the curb, and she had a trump card in her back pocket, a just-in-case move, which is a smart thing. If you're going to be a hoe, be a smart hoe. She kept a trump card because she knew he was racist, so she was like, okay, look, let me get some on him. Just in case he gets slick or his wife gets slick because the wife is trying to sue her. Just in case they try to blow up my spot, let me get a trump card. That's some smart street shit right there. That's why I respect her hustle. I respect the game. I respect the game. So she's my hero. Because she was a double agent bedwench. When you get caught out there in the game, okay, well, look, if I go down, all of us go down in this bitch. She played the double agent bedwench role. Because, see, a lot of these bedwenches, they don't play the double agent role. They believe everything that this dude is saying to them. And then they end up getting fucked up in the game and kicked to the curb. So they believe everything these cats are saying to them. What are you looking for, Vina? All that's upstairs. She was the thought, the thought that sat by the door. Exactly. It's not down here, Pina. But a lot of those bedwenches, they believe everything that they're told. And this is a perfect example of what I've been telling y'all for years about how the bedwenches are told to disown themselves from other black folks. Whenever a lot of these Negro bedwenches start dating white dudes, the white dudes, and I've said this a million times, they require them to distance themselves from other black folks. They require it. They require them to distance themselves from other black folks. And this is why whenever you see these so-called black feminists and all that, and they got a white husband or white boyfriend, they talk crazy about black folks. You ever notice that? Now, I've always pointed that out repeatedly. Whenever you see a black female, and not in all cases, but a lot of times when you see a black female, especially one who identifies herself as a black feminist, who has a white husband or a white boyfriend or white baby daddy, they will go out of their way to talk crazy about other black folks. That's because their white significant other requires them to do that. Because they're being told, look, if I accept you, if I'm lowering myself to be with your black ass, you're going to have to be something special. You can't be like the others. So how do I know that you're not like the others? Well, master, I'll show you. Them niggas ain't shit. I'll go publicly and say them niggas ain't shit. Because the reason why they're required to do that is because of the situation with Donald Sterling. They don't want to have a double agent around them. That's been a big fear for years, that double agent laying up in your bed. Because, look, white supremacists know what they've done wrong to black folks. They know that they've shitted on black folks. They know it. White supremacists know this. Even in slavery, when the white supremacist slave master was laying up with the black women, they knew that shit was wrong and all the shit they were doing was wrong. They knew that. So the Negro bedwenches back then, they had to make sure, if I'm laying up in the bed with you, Queenie, you ain't gonna have nobody come in here and slit my throat in the middle of the night, are you? No, sir. No, sir, massa. No, sir. Oz keeps them niggas away from you, sir. All right, Queenie, just double checking. So a lot of the Negro bedwenches will get wined and dined because they know black folks love nigger trinkets. Black people love nigger trinkets. You give us a little nigger trink, we like kids. Red bottoms, yay! You know, we like kids over little nigger shit. Listen to the words of Sterling when she was talking to him. She was like, how do you don't like black people? You got black players. He was like, well, look, hey, I feed them, I clothe them, I buy them cars. Nobody does that but me. He sounded like a goddamn plantation owner. I feed them, I clothe them, I buy them cars, I give them everything they need. He sounded like a plantation owner. Get TJ. TJ's. Oh. So the thing is, they want to make sure that the Negro bedwench ain't going to turn on them, which a lot of them did. A lot of them did. Now let's give props where props are due. There were a lot of black women who were the Negro bedwenches who actually turned on those dudes. They would poison them. They would do all types of shit. A lot of the black women were real slick back in the day. They would run away. They would, you know, let cats know what was happening on the plantation inside the house. But you do have some Negro bedwenches that will just go along with the program. So V. Stefano, whatever her name is, you know, she's my hero. She's like the Rosa Parks of ratchetness. She's the Harriet Tubman of hoeing. Because she did something that's something that needed to be done. And this is why, and I said on Twitter, a lot of the Negro bedwenches are very quiet about this whole situation because they're scared. Because she did something that somebody should have did a long time ago, which was turn on her white benefactor, who happens to be a white supremacist. She turned on him. Now, a lot of these dudes out here, these white supremacists, who have Negro bedwench side pieces, all these women who got these Olivia Pope situations, now the white dudes are looking like, hey, Jamaica, I just saw this situation with Sterling and that Mexican black chick. She turned on him. You're not going to go tell our secrets, are you? So now they're side-eyeing the Negro bedwenches out here. And the Negro bedwenches are kind of trembling, which is good. We've got to shake this shit up a little bit. The Negro bedwenches are scared right now because now they're side-eyeing them. See, it only takes a few. It only takes one or two situations to pop off to disrupt the whole thing. And understand this, if some shit goes down, the coons are going to go first, and the Negro bedwenches are going first. The coons and the Negro bedwenches are the first ones to be thrown to the wolves. See, that's why we need more double agents out here. See, all these Negroes cooning and shucking and jiving and all that. Well, white people are not fooled by that. They know that you are a low-down, dirty, disgusting coon. If you turn on your own people, you'll turn on them. Go look at the movie Queen with Halle Berry. Halle Berry, she was getting groomed to be a Negro bedwench, and she thought that she had an in with the family. If you've seen the movie, it was like, the movie came out in the 90s with Halle Berry playing a mulatto slave. She thought that Massa and the family was going to take care of her. After the Civil War, they dumped her ass to the curb so fast. They dumped her ass to the curb. They get rid of the Negro bedwenches first. They have no problem dropping your ass. All you women who think you're going to be the next Olivia Pope and how your good, tight black pussy is going to keep these white dudes at bay. There's a tight black pussy turning 21 every 48 hours. or every 15 minutes for that matter. They will drop you to the curb so fast. They expect to drop you to the curb. They keep all types of information on your ass just in case you try to break bad on them. They will slide you to the curb so fast. Now, with this young lady, V. Stefano, she understood what was going to happen. She knew because she looks like she got some miles on her. She looks like she's like probably 30-something, I don't know. But, you know, I look at her hands. She got them, you know, her hands got some miles on them. She got them old little Cicely Tyson hands. So she's getting some miles on her. And some of that sugar daddy money is drying up. So she's like, okay, let me play my last trump card. And she put them on out there. Which is good. Which is good. So the thing is, if you listen to the tape, listen to him. Listen to some of the stuff he's saying. He's like, I don't want you to bring the blacks to the game. She's like, but I'm black and Mexican, sweetie, but why can't you carry yourself like a nice white girl? Listen to the stuff he was saying. Why can't you carry yourself like a nice Latina? You know, it's just the culture. Listen to the words this man was saying. He kept saying culture. It's just the culture. See, that's the thing. Go back to listen to my show called One Nigger at a Time. I did a show called One Nigger at a Time. A lot of times when they bring black folks into a certain situation in the dominant society, it's the one nigga at a time rule. They don't want to bring too many black folks in because they got to pretend that you're special. And then black folks start buying into that I'm special shit. So when they bring one black person around, it's like, okay, just so I don't think that I'm lowering myself by being around people that I feel are beneath me, you're a special kind of black person. You're not really black at all. You see, when you get around certain white people, and not all, because all white people are not racist, but you hear white people say, I got a black friend and I don't see color at all. You see that bullshit? You know how bullshit of a statement that is? That's basically saying, I got a black friend. Instead of me admitting I got a black friend, I just got a friend who has no color. I'd rather just have a friend that I can pretend who's invisible than to admit that he's black. I don't see you as black. Let me tell y'all something. Stop apologizing about being black to these fucking people. Stop apologizing about being... This whole thing, black folks almost got to apologize about being black. Fuck them, these people who don't like it. Just like the V. Stefano, whatever her name is, she's on there. He's saying, well, how come you can't just carry yourself like a... I'm sorry, honey. I can't change my color. I'm sorry. She's apologizing for being black. The fuck out of here. The hell are you apologizing for being black for? If you got to apologize for being born, you need to check these folks. Let me say this. Ain't nothing wrong with being black. You're the original people on the damn planet. Black people always got to dilute their blackness and tiptoe around it. That's why black folks got to use words like, well, minority. Black people are scared to own up to their blackness because those in the dominant society get uncomfortable. You're black. Ain't nothing to apologize about. I don't apologize for shit. I don't just happen to be black. See, when you hear that term, well, you just happen to be black. That sounds like it's some kind of accident. No, I'm a black dude. I'm black. I'm the original man. God made people who look like me first on this planet. The fuck am I going to apologize for? That's disrespectful to God. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all got to get off that whole apologizing for being black nonsense. And even with this and the Cliven Bundy whole thing, we keep hearing about, well, the problem with blacks is this, the problem with black. Ain't nothing wrong with black folks. Black people, we get judged by the lowest denominator of the black community. So if a white person sees a black person in the projects, all of a sudden, his insecure white supremacist mind has to make it so that all black people are like that. That's his insecurity. Ain't nothing wrong with you. The problem is the white insecurity that happens with white supremacists like Donald Sterling. He has the problem. He's the one. You're a billionaire. Feel this. You got billions of dollars. With a B. You are a billionaire. And your ass is still insecure about black folks. What does that tell you? He's on the tape. If you listen to the tape, he sounded like he was about to cry. Oh, why? Why are you around those black men? And why? You got billions of dollars, and the thought of your lady being around other black dudes fucks with you. That's genetic power. See, the money is one thing. The money is one thing. But the money does not cover up those insecurities. The money does not cover up the insecurity. And just like Francis Cress Welsing said, it's that fear of genetic annihilation. The dude sounded mad insecure. And just think about it. This dude is a billionaire. And, you know, he tricks his money off and he has to buy chicks to get around him and all that. And deep down, he knows that he's just an old trick. He knows that. He knows that people are out there to get him. That's a hell of a feeling because you got money and you can get chicks to come kick it with you. But you know deep down in her heart, she ain't really trying to fuck with you. That's the thing that bothers these dudes. Even though you're a zillionaire, this chick, she's with you, but she's still looking at the dude who works for you. She's still looking out there on the plantation at Ezekiel picking cotton with his strong muscles. That's the thing that fucks with these dudes. The fact that Sterling can go to a place and he can trick off his money and buy a whole bunch of high-class hookers, but the one little player who he's throwing scraps to who works for his team can walk in the club and all the women are lined up to get to that dude. That fucks with those dudes, man. That messes with those dudes. But that whole culture thing, they keep talking about culture. So that culture thing meaning, I'll invite you in, just don't bring other black people around you because then that's going to make it look like you're into black culture. And remember, with the white supremacists, black culture is supposed to be a culture of failure. That gives white culture its meaning, its definition. You ask anybody what white culture is, they can't give you a real answer. White culture means not black culture. That's it. No such thing as white culture. White culture means that we don't get treated inferior like the black people do, which gives white culture its identity. You understand what I'm saying? So, a lot of people also think that just because you're sleeping with somebody or a white supremacist is sleeping with you, that doesn't make them a white supremacist. Because I've heard a lot of people say that. I've heard people say, well, Donald Sterling can't be racist. I mean, he has a black girlfriend. Nothing can be further from the truth. Some of the biggest white supremacists love having sex with black people because it's all about being in a superior position, conquering people. On the plantation, you have to understand that's all they were doing on those plantations. They were raping black people every day on these plantations. They were raping black people to the point that they created sub-races of people, the mulattoes, the octoroons, the quadroons. They created sub-races of people because of all the rape. Men and women, they were raping black men and women. Go to my video, I talk about the buck breaking process on YouTube. Oh, by the way, that whole lecture is available now, by the way. I have a lecture that's a pay-per-view special that's available for download. It's called, Are We in a Post-Racial America? I've been putting up a couple of clips on YouTube. People are loving it. You can get the whole thing at TariqRadio.com. Go to the pay-per-view section. Go to TariqRadio.com and you can get the whole 1-hour lecture that I did in Colorado a couple of weeks ago. I was at the University of Northern Colorado and I did a lecture and the game is hot fire. Oh yeah, the game is hot fire. That's at TariqElite.com. No, TariqRadio.com. I'm sorry. TariqRadio.com. TARIQ radio.com. But yeah, just because somebody is sleeping with a black person don't make them any less than a white supremacist. The dude who shot up the Jewish synagogue the other week, they found out that he got caught with a transsexual, a black prostitute transsexual? So he's a grand wizard of the Klan, but he's secretly fucking with black trainees. He's messing with black transsexual prostitutes. So that buck breaking, this whole thing of anally raping black dudes, go listen to, I break that down in this lecture. Go listen to that lecture. I talk about that. But yes, sex is a very core aspect of white supremacy. It's that domination. When you dominate people, the main way you dominate them is dominate them sexually. And this is why when people dominate you sexually, when you get up out that bed, they really have to practice extreme white supremacy in order to feel, again, superior about themselves. See, they gotta justify why they're lowering themselves to be with you. And if they say, well, you're black, but you ain't really black. You're black, but you're kind of special. You ain't like those other blacks. But if you hang around those other blacks, now you're making me look bad for laying up with you. You hanging out with Magic Johnson and you're making me look bad. Think about that. And that's another thing. He's shitting on Magic Johnson, and that's what a lot of people in LA are mad about. So we love Magic Johnson out here. Magic Johnson is like an icon and a hero. A lot of people are really, really mad about that. Because Magic Johnson is literally the nicest brother on the planet. You never hear anybody say anything negative about Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson is hands down the nicest brother on the planet. You can't get any nicer than Magic Johnson. This dude has a smile that's just trademark. He's just the epitome of a nice person. And for this dude to get up here and say, well, I don't want you bringing him to my games. See, that was the nail in the coffin for him. Because the thing is, black people have this thing where you try to side up with white supremacists to talk down upon hood black folks. And that's a real big mistake a lot of black people make. You think that if you get around white people and point the finger at hood black people, that you're getting a pass with the white supremacists. You're not. Because you're talking about the hood black people, because you hear a lot of black people say, who on the coon train, well, yeah, them black folks they need to stop, they in the ghetto and they on welfare. Black folks will say this. But the thing is, the white supremacists are looking at you the same way. The white supremacists don't really differentiate between you and other black folks. White supremacists don't do that. They all look at you the same way. They look at you the same way as they look at a black person in the projects. They look at you all the same. All of us are the same in their eyes. Don't get it twisted. Don't matter how much money you make. It don't matter. That's why this dude was like, I don't want Magic Johnson at my game. Magic Johnson is one of the most successful black businessmen in the world. Magic Johnson is one of the most successful, thorough black businessmen we have out there. And he's like, I don't want those kind of people at my game. So this should let black people know it don't matter what you do. White supremacy ain't trying to bring you in. See, this is the hamster wheel that black people are running on. If we just stop doing certain things, if we just act a certain way, white supremacy, they'll let us in. They don't give a damn what you do. Stop campaigning for acceptance. Stop campaigning for acceptance all the goddamn time. You're dealing with people, man. A lot of these white supremacists are extremely insecure. You can't beat that insecurity, and they have to practice white supremacy as a survival mechanism. And let me say this, when I say white supremacy, and I talk about this in the lecture DVD, by the way, not lecture DVD, but the download. You can download it. It's a pay-per-view special, so you can watch it instantly at TariqRadio.com. It's called Are We in a Post-Racial America? So get that. But what we got to understand is that black people we keep running on that hamster wheel. We keep running on that hamster wheel of acceptability. And it doesn't matter what you do, no matter how hard you work. Certain people, man, in the dominant society, they're going to look at you as inferior to them because that makes them feel better about themselves. That makes them feel better about themselves. Now, this case with Sterling, his wife, he has a white wife, and the poor thing, this is just some plantation shit. This is the same thing that happened on them plantations. This is why a lot of white feminists, they don't fuck with no black women. A lot of them white feminists, they do not mess with black women. They don't speak up for women's causes, nothing. And the reason why is because even during slavery, they knew that their white husbands were out there secretly messing with those black women. That's been a common theme in this country. And Sterling has his white wife, and the reason why they always have the white neglected wife is because they want their kids to be white. You know, they want to practice white supremacy, and they want to lay up with some of those chocolate treats, but they still want their kids to be white, or they want to have white kids. They'll have a little mulatto kid somewhere, hidden off somewhere, but they want to have them kids. They want their kids to be white. They want their kids to be white. Again, we're going through the same stuff that we went through on the plantations. Down there in Louisiana, a lot of those Creole women, they would have certain balls down in Louisiana for Creole women and French men. And the Creole women, they were out there just thinking that they're going to get wiped up, and they sucking and licking and just whoring themselves out. That's why all those hoe houses was down there in New Orleans and the French Quarters and all that. The Moulin Rouge, all the red light district, all of that shit really started down there in New Orleans. But they were whoring themselves out to the white slave masters, and they thought that, you know, the quadroon balls, exactly. Somebody know their history. That's what's up. There was even a movie about that, I think, with like Jasmine Guy and Vanessa Williams, I think. They had all the whole light-skinned black Hollywood in this movie. I can't think of the name of the movie. But they were down there in New Orleans, and they were going to the quadroon balls all dressed up, and, you know, the white slave masters, they would buy them stuff and treat them nice and give them nice little nigger trinkets. But at the end of the day, they would not marry their asses. They would not marry them. They're like, look, you light skin and all that stuff, and that coochie is real good. But when it comes to wiping somebody up, I got to get me a nice, good white woman, because I want my kids to be white. I don't want none of those Negro throwback genes popping up in my family. And that same dynamic is going on today. We're living in a system of white supremacy. We're not post-racial. What's up, fam? The shirt, go to TariqElite.com. Get the shirt right now. The shirt's fly. Everybody's loving my shirts. Some of the women were thirsty for the male models we had modeling the shirts too. A lot of the women were thirsty for the brothers, but the shirts, the shirts are $49.99. Get it at TariqElite.com. Is it stomping at the... No, I don't think it's stomping at the... Is it... I don't think it was Stomping at the Savoy. It was another movie. I don't know. It was another movie. I remember Vanessa Williams was in it, I think. The Stomping at the Savoy, that don't sound like it was a movie during slavery time. Yeah, we got small to 3X. We got small shirts to 3X. Now, you a big old fat Ruben Studdard looking motherfucker. I suggest to get one of the t-shirts that we got on the site that might fit you. Get the Olmec shirt. But these come in 3X. That's the biggest size. Thank you very much, Queenie. I respect you, young lady. But the thing is, like I said, man, they look at all of us the same. How do we get reparations? Well, we got to come at them from a position of power. We got to come at them from a position of power. See, we keep coming at them from a position of weakness. You dig? We keep coming at them from a position of weakness. And we can't do that. What I think about black socialism, see, I don't get into those ism terms. See, that's the thing. I don't get into those ism terms because there's only one ism. There's only one social construct that matters, and that's the system of white supremacy. What are we going to do about that? How do you counter that? How do you counter the system of white supremacy? That's the thing. But y'all remember last month, I told y'all, man, the month of April is going to be a doozy. I told y'all the month of April is a doozy for white supremacists. White supremacists show their asses in the month of April. And they did not disappoint this month. They've been showing, did they show their asses this month or what? I knew it was going to be a beast, but they showed out this month. Because the thing is, when one set of white supremacists start acting up, the other ones start getting emboldened. And understand this, what white supremacy is. Because, see, like I said, people think that a white supremacist is a Klan member. They think a white supremacist is a skinhead. That's not what a white supremacist is. A white supremacist is simply a person who thinks that they're superior to black people, and they practice that thought pattern. So a lot of people in the dominant society, they get upset with the word white supremacy because you are now assigning it to somebody. Because when people talk about racism, they like to talk about racism like some confusing entity that nobody knows what it's about. Racism is very specific. Racism is not confusing at all. Racism is not confusing. It's very, very specific. And it comes in the form of white supremacy because that's the only legalized racism that we have. That's the only legalized racism that we have. We have any white listeners in here? Where are our white brothers and sisters? If you're white, press W for my white brothers and sisters in here. If you European American brothers and sisters, press W. Let me know you're in here. Because I want to have some of you call up. Because this show is interactive. This is an interactive show. Let me get a couple of calls, but I do want some of you to call up. And we're going to get on Clive and Bundy's ass in a minute. We're not halfway done. We're going to get on him in a minute. Hold on. I'm trying to answer this call. What's up? Hold on. Thought I had a call coming in. The number is 818-850-5404. That's the phone number, 818-850-5404. Now, we got people pressing B. Now, I would like to, if there are some white brothers and sisters who disagree, please feel free to call up. This is not like one of them conservative, racist, white, right-wing shows where they say a whole bunch of stuff about blacks and then you can't call up and counter. We don't know. Say what you got to say. I can dialogue with you. What's up? Who's this?
Hey, Tariq, what's going on, man? This is Jay in Columbus, man.
What's up, Jay? How you doing, fam?
Pretty good, bro. I just wanted to chop up game with you for a minute, man.
Go ahead. Real quick, though. Real quick, because we got a flow going here.
I wanted to ask your advice about a book, man, as far as writing a book and getting in touch with people like Michael Moore who might be able to help out. I was just reading today, and I discovered the real reason that slavery ended had nothing to do with setting the slaves free, but it was more about a measure used in war. President Lincoln told the South, y'all release all y'all slaves, and y'all won't have to become part of the Union, and y'all release y'all slaves. But it was really an act of war, so the slaves wouldn't help the South fight against the North.
Right.
You know, the slaves were never made. They never given rights.
Right.
They were never made. They were never given the 40 acres and a mule. Obviously, that was a joke, and they were basically had no choice but to be sharecroppers.
Yeah. I talk about that in this new lecture that I'm doing that's on sale right now at TariqRadio.com. I actually go into that about them trying to pretend that the Civil War was about freeing African slaves. That had nothing to do with freeing us. The Civil War had nothing to do with
Congress never even... I even read that Congress never even voted on that to pass that act. It was an act of war. Presidents have judicial overpower in the act of war where they can make calls and Congress don't have to vote on it. So
Absolutely.
During the time of war, which was a civil war, President Lincoln issued a proclamation not to set slaves free and make them equal citizens, but to really just
to destabilize the South. It was to destabilize the South. Yes, it was to destabilize the South. But anyway, thank you for the call, fam. Thank you. There you go. All right, because the brother was going to keep saying the same thing over and over again. But I respect that, brother. I respect that. We got a lot of people in here. We need to get it up to 2,000 people. We're like at 1,500 right now. Shout out to all the people in here. Everybody, y'all see the little button up there that says followers? Click on that so y'all can follow the show every week. I do the show every Sunday. click up there so y'all can follow me and we can chop up game all the time. So click that thing up there that says followers so y'all can join us every week. Let's see, let me get one more call. And y'all got to get to the point, fam. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Keith coming out of New York.
What's up, fam? What's on your mind?
All right, so I was watching a documentary about eugenics today.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me about how they were talking about, oh, would they be better as slaves? It was almost like they were going back to that. Like, all right, we gave them a shot, but they might be better off in a camp, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And when I try to tell other black people, like, yo, man, we still living under that white supremacy, they kind of tell me, no, it's our fault. What about us? And I'd be like, yo.
Yeah, you know what? And the reason why, and you see a lot of that with this old Clive Bundy thing. You see a lot of that with this Donald Sterling thing. And I see a lot of older black men copping pleas. I put up a picture on, I think the Hidden Colors Facebook page. There was a situation in China where the police in China beat up a woman. The men in China, in whatever city this was in, thousands of them rose up and started beating the shit out of cops all over the city. They start turning over cop cars. They didn't march. They didn't sing. They didn't beg. They didn't pray. They got up and said, hell no, you're not going to do this. And I posted this up. I didn't put no message behind it. I just put the picture up and people were discussing it. I saw so many black dudes like, oh man, we couldn't do nothing like that. We only 13% of the population and they got guns on us. We can't be violent. Like, and black men acting scared and cowardly, that's not going to save you. This whole scared cowardly thing is just not going to work for us. And I see a lot of black men, it's easier for them to start cooning and to say, hey, well, the problem might be us. It's easier to say that than to say, I can't do anything about white supremacy.
I think the biggest thing is they don't honestly want to believe that white people don't like them.
No. If you do believe it, what you're going to do about it? That's the thing. Let's say you do believe it. What are you going to do about it if you believe it? So that's the thing. Because they believe it, they do believe it, but they got to mind con themselves into believing that, okay, maybe that's not really the problem. The problem is maybe we do, as black people, need to we our own worst enemy. Maybe we do got to stop being on welfare. It's easier to say that because there's no negative repercussion for pointing the finger at another black person. That's a coward move. You know, but thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, fam. Like I said, man, when you look at white supremacy and you come to the conclusion that, hey, this is real, Donald Sterling is a white supremacist. We got to replace the system of white supremacy. It's very difficult for black people, a lot of black people, to say what I just said. Even to say it. A lot of black people, I'm just not scared. But again, look, we live in a system of racial domination, so black people are dependent totally on white people to eat. So many black people are just literally dependent on white people to eat, sleep. So you don't want to say anything that's going to bite the hand that's feeding you. So this is why a lot of black people are so afraid to admit that white supremacy is real. It's too difficult to say, hey, Clive Bundy is a white supremacist. What he said was really messed up. Because then you got to do something about that. When you say something, when you own up to something, the next step naturally is you're doing something about it. You got to do something about it. What are you going to do about it? And if you're not willing to do anything about it, that's going to make you look like a bigger coward. So to save face, instead of saying, well, Clive Bundy is a white supremacist and Donald Sterling is a white supremacist, in order to save face, you say, well, you know what? What about black on black crime? That's a deflection. You got to deflect, which makes you feminine and bitch-made if you're a man. This is why we have bedwenches out here. This is why we have Negro bedwenches out here. And certain black women, I don't blame them for having to be Negro bedwenches, just like the Blaxican chick with the dry edges who's messing with Sterling. She's like, well, hell, if all you black men out here sucking Donald Sterling's ass, if you gotta bow down to him, hell, why am I going through you? I might as well go to your boss and suck him off. I don't blame him for that. Go to the source. See, you gotta be a boss, fellas. You gotta learn how to be a boss in this game. You gotta learn how to be a boss in the game. And that's the problem, man. A lot of folks are too afraid to own up to certain things because the next move is to create action. What's up? Who's calling?
Hello?
Hey, who's this?
Yeah, what's up, Tariq? This is AB out of Connecticut, man. What's up?
I'm good, man. What's your name again?
AB?
AB. What's AB stands for?
Yeah. I'm actually out of Sudan, man. How you doing?
You out of the Sudan?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, Abdul. There you go. Say your real name, Abdul. So what's on your mind, Abdul, from the Sudan?
Yeah, brother. Yeah, I want to talk about some game with you, man. Really fast. I know you got a call up there. You know.
Go ahead.
All right, brother. So, I know chick out of school, right? Chick really like a dying, right?
Hold on, wait. Hold on, brother. What kind of phone do you have? Do you have a Somalian cell phone? What kind of phone is that, brother? You got one of them. You got one of them.
Brother.
That phone is a beat. I can't hear shit you saying. You got one of them Captain Phillip pirate phones, man. I can't hear shit you saying.
Nah, man.
God damn.
We different, man.
But you got the struggle phone, brother. Sound like my God.
Funny, right?
You got one of them them Red Cross phones. But go ahead real quickly, brother, because I can barely understand what you're saying.
All right, brother. So yeah, I know this chick out of what they call it, community college. I go to community college and that. So and this semester I said like I'm not gonna approach no girls. You know, I'm just gonna.
I can't, right? brother. I'm gonna, brother. Just type it. I'm gonna have to let you go. I can't understand nothing you saying, brother. I'm sorry. Thank you for the call. I'm sorry, family. I'm not trying to be rude to the brother. I can't understand what the brother is saying. This brother has the Hotep prepaid card, and the shit is just all over the place. I can't understand what brother is saying. That brother has a T-Mobile sidekick. He's just not getting a new phone. My God. I'm trying my best to understand. I wasn't trying to be rude to the brother. I wasn't trying to be rude to him. But my dude's phone was a beast. That dude had the Idi Amin iPhone. My God. Y'all can't call up on the raggedy muffled phones. That slows down the show. I can't understand what's going on. That phone was struggling. The phone fucked up, and the brother you had an accent too, so it was very difficult to really hear what your accent was going on. I couldn't do it, brother. No disrespect to you. Shout out to my brothers from the Sudan. Shout out to my brothers from the Sudan. Oh, man. But let's get back to what I was saying. Let's just get back to what I was saying. Let's get on. We got to talk about Cliven Bundy. We got to talk about Cliven, the white supremacist Bundy. Because Cliven, a lot of people in the dominant society are trying to... Oh, yeah, the whole black Jew crime... I forgot to talk about that. I'm glad you reminded me. I feel like a hair is in my nose. I'm not digging for boogers. You ever feel like there's a hair in your nose that you can't get out? And I know I'm looking like I just hit some fucking cocaine and shit. I'm like, you know. But there's a hair in my nose I can't get out, and it's tickling my nose. I'm sorry for digging. But yeah, another thing about Donald Sterling, he made some comment about the Jews, blacks and Jews and all this stuff. And he was talking about the black Jews. And this is something that just solidified his white supremacist views. He was talking about, well, the Jews, black Jews over in Israel, they get treated like dogs. And then the girlfriend was like, are you trying to say you don't want me to bring blacks to the game? Are you trying to say that black Jews are beneath white Jews? She said something to that effect. And Sterling was like, 100%. Absolutely. 150%. Yes, they're beneath them. So if there's any doubt that this man is a white supremacist, that just goes out the window. This man is a bleeding white supremacist. But we got to get on Bundy, Cliven Bundy, because a lot of people have forgotten about Cliven Bundy, and I have not forgotten about Cliven Bundy. Now, some people are trying to make it seem like, and for those who don't know, Cliven Bundy was this guy in Nevada. He had this little standoff with the federal government because he was grazing cattle on public land, land that we black people help pay taxes for, by the way. I want to point that out. Public land that we, as American taxpayers, especially black folks, we pay for that land. So Cliven owes money and the government was going to go in and move the cattle, but then there was this militia movement. There were like hundreds of militia guys came up there with guns and had a standoff with the government. Now let me go here about the standoff, because see, they're making it seem like they did this real brave, bold move. You get it? They're making it seem like they went up there and did this really brave and bold move and stood up against the government. They leave one thing out. The government ended up backing down. Now, the government didn't back down because all of these redneck soldiers. The reason why the government backed down is because these fucking militia group, redneck, white supremacists, they took women and children up there. And they pretty much hid behind the women and children. They said this. They put the women and children out there in front of them, and they said if the government starts shooting, they'll get the women and kids first. And that's going to go all around the world. Which to me is such a bitch-made move. So don't give them props as if they were like on some brave. They weren't that brave. They did some real fuck shit. They put their women and children out there to get shot. So the government, the soldiers was like, hey, we're not going to shoot no women and kids. We're not going to shoot no women and kids. Come on. All right, we leave. If you guys are that cowardly, keep the cows in the land. It was that type of thing. It was effective. It was effective. Well, we can't do that because we put women and children out there in the civil rights movement and they beat the shit out of all them women. So we stopped doing that. That's why I get on when black feminists start talking about, well, the Black Power movement, they left women out because they were beating the shit out of women. So the brother said, hey, y'all stay home. We're going to go out there with our guns. See, the Black Panthers, they stood up with their guns and made the women stay home. That to me was powerful. They should have been more strategic about it. You did? But don't let those dudes fool you that they went up there and they backed the government down. They went and put their women and children up there in the forefront. So let's be very clear on that. Let's be very clear on that. Let's be very clear on that. Do your research on that. Wasn't they were some brave and get the fuck out of here. That was a real cowardly move. And even Dr. Phil Valentine said this whole thing about opening a door for women, that's not really about chivalry. That came out of Europe as a fear tactic. Because in the African culture, the man always went outside first. Not because he was trying to dominate the woman. It was about protection. The whole concept, what Brother Phil Valentine said in Europe in ancient times, when there were dangers outside, what they would do, they would make the woman go outside first. So if there was any kind of danger, she would get hurt first. You dig what I'm saying? So they've always put the women out there to get fucked over. Those white supremacists are people who think like that. When you look at I was in Spain and I went to the Spanish Inquisition Museum. They did all types of vile shit to women. They were torturing women. They did all types. Even over here with the Salem witch hunt, you know. So the women, the white women, a lot of them, when the white supremacists get them, white women know what an ass whooping feels like. They'll sacrifice them at the drop of a hat too. So we just got to understand history. Yeah, but they didn't want a situation like, you know, the Mormons, of course. So they said, okay, if they're willing to put their women and kids out here, we'll just chill out. So because of that, the government backed down. A lot of these militia groups and the Cliven Bundys, these dudes started feeling emboldened. they felt like, okay, we done backed the government down. They started getting real bold. They started feeling real bold. And when they started feeling real bold, and this is the month of April, and now they made Cliven Bundy this big hero. He's on Fox News. He's literally doing press conferences every day. The right-wing conservatives and all of these white supremacists, they've made this guy a hero. A lot of Republicans, politicians have backed this guy, and they're making him out to be this grassroots folk hero. So now that he's all emboldened, he's backed the government down. All of a sudden, out the blue, he does an interview talking about, so another thing about the Negro. And people are like, what? What? What do you mean about, where is this coming from? Think about this. A lot of people are like, why are you even talking about the Negro? Where the hell does this come from? Because it seemed like it just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Once they got bold, now they got to get down to the real business. Another thing about the Negro. Now, a lot of y'all people were like, where in the hell is that coming from? What does black people have to do with any of this stuff? And I'm going to break that down. I want y'all to really feel me. I want y'all to really feel me. I went to Chipotle. I know my garbage can is full. But Cliven Bundy went into this whole thing. Well, you know, I was driving past the government housing in North Las Vegas, and I seen some black people outside of a house, and they just didn't have nothing to do. And I was wondering, would they be better off in slavery? That'd at least give them something to do. And people were like, uh-oh. I wasn't shocked at all. I was just surprised that he said it, but not really, because now he's bold. So he thinks, okay, now I can get back to doing what I really wanted to do. And people, first they tried to clean it up. At first they tried to clean up what he was saying. Especially Alex White Supremacist Jones. Alex Jones is the white supremacist. Fuck Alex Jones. And tell him I said it. And my dude, Professor Griff, goes on his show a lot. I love Professor Griff. Professor Griff goes on the show a lot. That's cool. I think KRS-One has been on his show before. But as far as me, fuck Alex Jones. Alex Jones is a suspected white supremacist. He says a lot of real slick shit about black people. Alex Jones says a lot of real slick shit about black people with his fake ass. He's another race hustler. He's another one of those, the race hustlers, the blacks are going to do this. And he throws out a bunch of bullshit in order to get people riled up, but he never provides a reason, nor does he provide a solution. It's that whole, the government's going to get you. The government's going to get you. Oh, the blacks and the government. He's a con artist. He's a con artist. And he always, well, that Trayvon Martin stuff, yeah, it really came out with the whole Trayvon Martin stuff. Go back and listen to that stuff. Every blue moon, he'll try to say some stuff positive about black, well, the Illuminati, and the Rockefellers, and they were going to try to target the black community, But he's another white supremacist. He's another white supremacist, dude. He's another white supremacist. Don't get fooled by him. Don't get fooled by him. All right? And he had Cliven Bundy on his show. Like, well, Cliven Bundy, he was a lot of what he said was taken out of context. So, it was taken out of context. They take these words out of context. So Cliven was on his show. That's how that son of a bitch talked. Just a gargly mouth. That fucking voice. A lot of people say Alex Jones is an informant. I mean, he just spews out a whole bunch of the government is going to get you theories. All of this shit. Most of it ain't true. He's another white supremacist. But he was like, Cliven Bundy was taken out of context, okay? He was taken out of context. His words were taken out of context. We're gonna interview him right now. We're gonna interview him right now and put his words in the right context, okay? Because see, we got the blacks and the Al Sharptons out here in the world. We got all the Al Sharpton and the Jesse Jacksons out here in the world. Now, shut the fuck up, dude. You gargly mouth fucking redneck. You gargly mouth fucking redneck white supremacist, Alex Jones. Tell him I said it. Fuck Alex Jones. I'm not scared of these white supremacists. I'm not scared of none of them. But like I said, he had Cliven on his show, and Cliven basically said the same thing. Cliven said the exact same thing. I just said, I'm not a racist. I just think that the blacks would just be better off in slavery. So he said, nobody's taking the context out. He keeps saying the same thing. Cliven, every interview Cliven Bundy does, he says the exact same thing. Say Dick Gregory was on Alex Jones. He probably was. Dick Gregory does a lot of interviews. Dick Gregory was on Arsenio Hall the other night. Shout out to Arsenio. I love Arsenio's show. Shout out to brother Dick Gregory, who's going to be in my movie Hidden Colors 3. Yeah. But Cliven has been saying the exact same thing over and over again. And he keeps, and that's why they said, okay, we just got to back up from this dude, because you got to understand, a lot of these dudes, these white supremacists out here, they get most of their rhetoric from the Fox News channels and from the Alex Jones. They get most of their rhetoric from the Rush Limbaughs. So really, their rhetoric, they can't really filter their racism that well unless they hear it from Sean Hannity or O'Reilly. See, O'Reilly and Hannity and all these guys, they know how to filter their white supremacist views. And they know how to word it a certain way so that it won't seem blatantly racist. And what happens is, you got to understand this, and this is why, if you go back and listen to the interview I did with Johnny, there was a closet white supremacist I did a debate with, and you can see that on YouTube. Type in Tariq Nasheed debates a closet white supremacist, and I did it right here on Ustream. We were doing a live show a couple of years ago, and there was a guy who called up who was a closeted white supremacist. He had all of these negative views about black people, and he got bold enough, and he was polite, but he got bold enough to challenge me. I guess he got all of his little Fox News bullet points, and he decided to call up and challenge me. And I gave his ass that work. Because what happened was, and this is what happens, these talking points you see on Fox News and Rush Limbaugh and all that, the fact that you never see anybody counter it, you think that you got some up on black folks. When you hear these bullet points about black people got BET and that's racist, or black people on welfare, but you never see anybody who counters that on television. That's because Fox News, that's a propaganda machine. So when you talk to a real black person who knows what the fuck is up, and you start spewing those Fox News bullet points, you're going to get that work. So the thing is, Cliven Bundy is one of those type of people. He ran out of rhetoric. He ran out of the code words. See, right now, you got to use a lot of code words to be a white supremacist. And the fact that they're interviewing Cliven Bundy every day, there's only so many codes he can use. He done ran out of code words. Now, the real him started coming out. And that's the thing. If you want to expose a white supremacist, let him keep talking. Let them keep talking. Nancy Pelosi, I think it was Nancy Pelosi. She did an interview of when she did like a documentary about when Barack Obama was getting elected, and she went around to like these Tea Party conventions and all that stuff. And she was interviewing different white people around the country. And, you know, she just put the camera on them. I think it was Nancy. I think it was her daughter, somebody connected with Nancy Pelosi, I think. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. But she did these interviews with white people around the country who, you know, they opposed Barack Obama. And many of them, they were using all the code words. Oh, big spending, they'll take our guns, and, you know, money this and money that. Just all types of stuff. Just all, hold on a second. they were saying all of these code words. No, Barack Obama, he's not really an American. He's Kenyan. Where's his birth certificate? You dig what I'm saying? It was all that rhetoric. But then she just kept the camera rolling and she just kept talking to him. She just kept talking to some of these people. And the more she kept the camera going and the more she kept asking questions, the real them started coming out. Because then they started running out of the whole birth certificate shit and the dad is from Kenya and is he really American and was he in school in Indonesia? They ran out of all that shit. And she kept talking to him and then finally they got to the point where I just don't want to vote for him because I don't want to vote for a nigger. They just came on out with it. I just don't want to see a nigger in the White House. Let me just stop playing games. When you mess with a white supremacist, they don't really want to talk in codes. White supremacists hate talking in codes. They don't like this talking in code shit. They really don't like it. They do it because they have to. The white supremacists don't want to talk in codes. They really want to say, they got nigger on the tip of their tongue at any given moment. They are ready to spew nigger. Black people know. You can look at a white person and tell when they just want to spew nigger at you. It's just a look that they have. Black people know that look. Like if you cut a white person, you cut a white person off in traffic and they give you that nigger look, like you drive up and then they have to stop on their brakes and then you look at them like, oh, my bad. And they look at you like, it's like on the tip of their tongue. Every black person knows that look. Or you're having a debate with somebody, white, and then you get one up on them and then they give you that look. Oh, we got trolls in here tonight? Okay, we got a lot. Okay, please, that's another thing. When we're talking about white supremacy, the trolls usually come out. Diva, can you handle these trolls, sweetie? Can we handle these trolls? Let me get one more call real quick. Because I'm not through talking about Bundy. We got a lot to talk about.
What's going on, man?
What's up?
That's one calling from New York.
What's your name?
It's that's one calling from New York.
Your name is say your name slowly.
Success One.
Success One. Okay, there you go. What's up? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just want to give you a shout out, man, because I was kind of called before, but shout out for that Alex Jones thing because nobody talks about him, and he always seemed kind of funny, and I know Griffin like mess with him a little bit, but something about him always just seemed kind of real fucked up. Like it was like so when you pointed it out, it just changed what I was even calling in for. So I want to give you a shout out for that because he's on some real funny shit. Like
he is.
I appreciate you for that.
Much respect, man. Thank you. Yeah, he's another white supremacist. I don't fuck with Alex Jones. He's another white supremacist. He said too many slick shit. He says way too much slick shit about black people, as far as I'm concerned. He says too much slick shit about black folks. I don't play with white supremacy. I really don't. I do not play with white supremacists. I don't. I do not. I'm gonna get a couple of calls. Y'all just get to the point. Get real quick with the calls. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, what's up, Tariq?
What's up? Who is this?
This is Wayne calling out of Torrance.
What's up, man? What's going on? What you doing down in Torrance with all the Asian brothers and sisters?
Yeah, they out here. You know, I'm blending in, trying to.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the Bloods out there in Torrance. But what's on your mind?
Oh, man, what you said about they turning the Mexicans into them white folks, man. How Donald Sterling was telling this girl, you need to be a little docile Latina or white girl.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's telling her to be a white girl. What kind of shit is that? You did?
Yeah, but I was looking on the. I filled out a little government application. It had 4 choices: black/African, Asian, other, or white and Latino was in the same section, white/Latino.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You got to understand what they do is because real white numbers are dwindling. So what they've always done was redefine what a white person is. That's a very common theme. So certain groups are classified as white at certain times. It's some real socio-political shit, but it's real heavy, but it's real effective, but it's real deep, man. But thanks for the call, fam. Double Diva, I remodded you again. But like I said about Cliven Bundy, though, I'm not done with him. See, with Cliven Bundy, the reason why he went into this whole the problem with the blacks thing is because that's the real point of all of these militia groups. I want y'all to feel me on this. That's the real point of all of these militia groups. Why do you think, let me ask y'all this. These so-called militia groups and these extreme right-wingers, why do you think they're so anti-government? What are they upset with the government about? Why do you think they're so, the government, we got to get the government out of our business? The federal government, all that federal government. I want y'all to think about this. The federal government is trying to take away our freedoms. Freedom for what? What freedom? Think about this. Hold on, hold on, Bundy. You people, okay, Bundy is, okay, hold on, I'm about to ban Bundy myself. Okay, there we go. Okay, I banned Bundy myself. But anyway, like I said, why do you think these militia groups and the Clive Bundys and all these people are on this, the government is taking our freedom? What freedoms are being taken away from you? As a white person, police aren't really messing with you. You're not being denied jobs or none of that stuff. You're not being denied. What are you being denied? You can't say black people are getting all of this stuff. You can't use the whole welfare thing. More white people get welfare than black people. There are government benefits that white people get that black people don't even know about. There's all types of government set-asides and incentives that white people get that black folks don't get. People like to point at welfare and food stamps, but white people get more Section 8, you get way more welfare than white people. And what's very interesting, the people who always complain about black people being in the ghetto in the hood, these are the people who live in the millions of Section 8 trailer homes in middle America. Black folks are not living in those trailer homes. It's almost a deflection. They like to deflect on black folks. So these, Double D, you're not modded? Hold on. Okay, I don't know why it's not making you a mod, young lady. Let me double check. Let me see something. See if I'm logged in. Hold on. Allow links. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting you be a mod, Double Diva. Okay. So I don't know why it's not letting you mod up. All right, but I'll get them if I can. I'll get some of these dudes. Now, what was I saying? I was talking about these militia groups. These militia groups, they keep talking about the government's taking their freedom. They're going to take my guns. And no, they're not. The reason why these people are so anti-government is because they think the government is going to stop them from practicing their freedom to practice white supremacy against black folks. That's the bottom line. Let me say that again. The freedom that they're worried about is the freedom to practice white supremacy over black folks. Let me say that 1/3 time so y'all can feel me. The freedom that they're talking about is the government taking away their freedom to practice white supremacy over black people. When you look at all of these people who blew up federal buildings like the Timothy McVeigh, all of these right-wing groups that's anti-government, Ruby Ridge, all of these anti-government right-wingers, do you notice all of them have this anti-black slant to their rhetoric? All of them have this anti-black slant to their rhetoric. Why is that? Why does anti-government and anti-black go hand in hand? Think about this. There's a book that a lot of these militia groups and white supremacists, there's one book that they all go to. There's a book that came out in the 1970s called The Turner Diaries. I got a copy of it upstairs. So this book is about how it was written as a novel, but it was really a blueprint on what these white supremacist groups can do to get back to oppressing black folks. It's a very anti-black book, and it's a very anti-government book. And it was all about how the government is coming in to take their guns and how the Negroes were going to take over and all this old bullshit. So a lot of them go back to this book. But that whole movement, this whole militia movement and that mindset, that goes back to the 1800s. I want y'all to feel me on this. In the 1800s, after the Civil War, the South was toe up. South was toe up. A lot of the white Southerners in the South, they were pissed off at black folks. Why? Because black folks sabotaged the South and helped the North win. The South was sabotaged by black people. When the Civil War was going on, and the brother who called up earlier, he touched on this. The Civil War wasn't about freeing black people whatsoever. It wasn't about freeing black people. The Civil War was about, the South was about to secede from the North because the South was becoming very powerful. The North said, okay, we can't let you do that because we'll fall off, so we're going to have a war. So they started warring. The South was winning the Civil War. The South was winning the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln said, okay, let me throw a wrench in the game since the South is winning, because the black people in the South, they were taking care of the families. They were making sure the family was straight. The South was actually helping, the Africans in the South were helping the white people fight because it wasn't about slavery at the time. So the South was actually winning. They had black people holding them down. Abraham Lincoln put out the word. He did something that the Spanish did. He did something that Britain did. When Britain was fighting the U.S., Britain put out the word, you fight with us, you get freedom. Spain did the same thing. Spain said, look, if you fight for us, you'll get freedom. As a matter of fact, all you black people, come on down to Florida. Florida was a free state when it was owned by Spain. So a lot of black people went to Florida, not to Canada and to the north through the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad was in Florida. A lot of people don't talk about that, but I digress. But Abraham Lincoln did the same thing. He said, okay, look, I'm going to free the slaves. And then when black people heard that, black people started sabotaging the South. Black people became spies for the North. So black people helped the North beat the South. And black people, after the Civil War, were still in the South. Because again, if the North was trying to fight for black folks, the North would have allowed black people to go up there. They didn't want black people up there in the North. They didn't give a fuck about black people up there in the North or South. But what happened after the Civil War, white people were pissed at black people. And they're still pissed off at black people to this day because of that. That's why those Confederate flag dudes, they're still salty over the Civil War and black people sabotaging them. What happened directly after the Civil War, feel me, the North sent federal troops in the South to protect black people. Because white people wanted to fuck black people up for sabotaging the Civil War. But there were federal troops down in the South protecting black people for about 10 years. And what happened was in 1877, there was something that happened called I think it's the Southern Compromise. A lot of black historians call it the Big Betrayal, the Black Betrayal. There was a guy running for president, Rutherford B. Hayes. I think that's his name. Rutherford B. Hayes was running for president. He made a deal with the South because at the time, all the South, the people in the South were Democrats. They were Dixiecrats. He made a deal with the South. He said, look, if y'all vote for me, because I'm a Republican, but if you Democrats vote for me, put me in office, I'll give you what you want because I know y'all want to get the troops out of the South so you can have your way with the niggers. So if you vote for me and put me in office, you know, I'll put a Democrat on the Senate and I'll take all the troops out of the South. So they voted for Rutherford B. Hayes, made him president, and then he pulled all the federal troops out of the South, which is what the Southerners wanted. The Southerners were real mad about those troops being down there in the South protecting those black folks. The Southerners, they were going to start little militia groups and all this to get those troops out of the South. That's where all that militia group shit came from, because those federal troops were in the South keeping the white Southerners in check. When they took the troops out of the South, the Southerners said, oh, now, nigga, Who's going to protect you now? They start fucking black people up. That's where all the lynching started. The black codes, they start beating the shit out of black folks. They start giving black folks the business for the next 100 years. Until the 1960s, basically. They had free reign over black folks with their foot in black people's asses until 1965. Then they had to put the federal troops back in the South. That's why in the 1960s, you would see federal troops walking those little black kids to school. Remember that? Go look at some of that footage of troops. You got to walk black kids to school in the 1960s. So now these militia groups have come back up, still mad at the government. They're mad at the government for taking away their freedoms and all that. They want the freedom to practice white supremacy over black folks. And that's the thing. That's why this dude, Cliven Bundy, just pulled this whole thing about black folks out of his ass. It just came out of nowhere. That's where that came from. So we got to understand how that game works. All of that, it goes hand in hand. That white supremacy and that whole anti-government thing goes hand in hand. Oh, Steve Coakley warned y'all about Alex Jones too? I can believe it. Steve Coakley was the truth. Steve Coakley was the truth. But Alex Jones is full of shit. He ain't nothing but a white supremacist. Black people stop co-signing Alex Jones. This dude has said so much slick shit about black folks. He's a white supremacist. Fuck Alex Jones, dude. He's no friend of the black community. This dude, I don't deal with those double... Just like Glenn Beck, they'll have this Black History moment and all this old stupid shit, and then say something real slick about black folks. Black folks get tricked by that too much. Just because a white person does something nice, that doesn't mean that they're not practicing white supremacy. And again, all white people are not white supremacists. And that's the thing. Certain people were like, well, Cliven Bundy is not really a white supremacist. He's out of touch. He's a little out of touch, but I wouldn't call him a white supremacist. Now, Donald Sterling is a white supremacist. Now, a lot of the white supremacists don't mind throwing Donald Sterling under the bus because he's Jewish. So they have a whole thing about Jewish people too. So they don't have a problem throwing him under the bus. But I say this, Cliven Bundy is more dangerous than Donald Sterling. Because see, Donald Sterling, he knows the shit he's saying is fucked up. Donald Sterling knows he's a white supremacist. He knows it. He knows the shit he's saying is fucked up. Even when he's talking to his girl, he knows it's fucked up. But he's like, it's fucked up, but it is what it is. She's telling him it's fucked up. He's like, but hey, that's just how it is, sweetie. That's just the culture. That sweetie, honey, baby, that's just the culture. He knows what he's saying is fucked up. He knows, he don't give a shit. He's like, yeah, I'm a white supremacist, but it is what it is. Cliven Bundy, he doesn't even realize how much of a white supremacist he is. It's like in his subconscious mind. Cliven, it's just ingrained in him where he doesn't even realize it because because he's not fucked up with it, that he's not a white supremacist. That's the thing with Cliven. Cliven is like, no, I got colored friends. I'm cool with the niggers. It's that type of racism where he don't even think he's being racist because he's a nice guy. See, the thing is, white supremacy is not always about aggression. It ain't all about smacking people up and beating them up and calling them names. That's not all white supremacy is about. White supremacy is a theory and practice where you internalize a thought pattern that you are superior over black people. And that can be subtle, it can be aggressive, it can be more direct, it can be passive. But it's still effective, and the passive white supremacy is the worst kind. Because that's the kind of, imagine Cliven Bundy on a court case where there's a black person, and the black person is on trial, and Cliven Bundy is on the jury. Cliven is not going to think he's thinking like a white supremacist when he sentences this dude to life for something he didn't do. Oh man, I mean, Cliven Bundy, he was like, yeah, and the stuff he said, he's so racist, it's almost comical, but he doesn't realize it. Because his racism has become so normalized. Because, see, the thing is with Cliven Bundy, the difference between him and Donald Sterling interacts with black people every day. So Donald Sterling knows what to say and what not to say publicly. Not only does he interact with all of these ball players and coaches every day, he's laying up with a black woman. So he knows what to say and what not to say. He knows what he's saying is fucked up. Cliven Bundy, on the other hand, he don't know no black people. He don't interact with black people. This is why he's using old Jim Crow terms. Well, I'm nice to the coloreds. The niggers are fine with me. I mean, he don't even interact with black people enough to know that you ain't even supposed to say that. Just because I say a black boy or colored, that don't mean I'm racist. He actually said, if y'all think I'm racist for saying that, if you're offended by that, well, then you don't really believe in Dr. King's dream. He's like misquoting Dr. King and Rosa Parks. Well, Rosa Parks said, I can call you colored. Rosa Parks didn't march on Washington just so I couldn't call you colored. I could watch Cliven Bundy all day. Let him talk. Let this motherfucker talk. I can watch him all day. You know, you say O'Reilly racist. You know what? I don't know if Bill O'Reilly is racist. Bill O'Reilly is a hustler. Bill O'Reilly, he knows that you can make a buck spewing racial rhetoric. But I don't think that he is a racist. I think he's a pretend white supremacist. You got to understand that. There's a lot of money in spewing white supremacist rhetoric. There's a lot of money in spewing this anti-black rhetoric. It's always been like that. Because that's the fabric of this society. The want and need to feel superior over black people. That's a strong desire. And you can make a lot of money on that. Saying that black people are the problem. There's a lot of money in that. Is Bunchy still in here? Bunchy, call up, brother, because you in here just trolling your little heart out, Bunchy. Call up, Bunchy. Say what's on your mind, man. You don't have to troll in the room. Come on, Bunchy. I want Bunchy to call up. I want Bunchy to call up. We in here deep. We are in here deep. Bunchy, call up, man. The number is 818-850-5404. Bunchy, if you're brave, call up. Don't be a coward. Bunchy, just call up, brother. I want Bunchy to call up. Hello. Who we got?
How you doing? This is Jimmy J. Smooth out of Houston.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm going to have you call back in a minute. I only want Bunchy to call up. I only want Bunchy to call up. Say what's on your mind, man. You ain't got to troll the room. You know, man up. Say what's on your mind. What's up? Who's calling?
What's up, Tariq? It's your boy Big Dan, man.
Big Dan, I got to have you call back, brother. I want Bunchy to call up. I'm hanging up on everybody if you ain't Bunchy. What's up? Who's calling?
Yo, it's Mike from Detroit. What's good,
All right,
Tariq?
Mike, I got to have you call in later, bro. I got to have you call in later. I want Bunchy to call up. Any of our white brothers and sisters who disagree with what I'm saying. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, what's going on? This is Darrell. I'm calling out of Milwaukee.
I'm going to have you call back up, sir.
Man.
I'm going to have you call back up, sir. I'm going to have you call back up. I hate to throw you under the bus hanging up on you. What's up? Who's calling?
He just said he's hanging up.
Hello?
Yeah?
Hello?
Louise.
Turn the computer down.
Hello?
Can you turn your computer down?
Pardon me?
Turn your computer down, please.
Turn it down.
Because we hear feedback. Hello? Can you turn the computer down?
Yeah, we just turned it down.
Okay, now what is go ahead. Now what's your
you're
name?
waiting. You were waiting for Bundy. Let's talk.
Now,
I just wanted to say that I'm white, and I've been listening to your program.
Now, what's your name? Wait. What's your name, ma'am?
Louise.
Louise, where you calling from?
Michigan.
Okay, so what's on your mind? Now, are you Bunchy? Are you Bunchy?
No.
Okay, so what's on your mind? You sound upset.
I'm a white woman. How can I be him?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, Louise. Then what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is you sadden me. I feel like you're part of the problem.
How so?
Well, you're talking about, you're calling black people coons. You're talking about white people always being negative about black people.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. As a matter of fact, I said that all white people are not racist. I've said that repeatedly. Did you not hear that, ma'am?
You may say that, but it's not in how you express yourself.
I expressed myself very clearly. I didn't say that all white people are mean. And I specify the type of white people that I talk about, which are the white supremacists. I never paint everybody with a broad brush. I'm very specific about the people I talk about.
You know, I just feel that you really, truly, it's very frustrating as a white person who, you know, like you say that we say, I have a white friend, or I date a black man. And then we say, I don't see color. When you love all people, you don't see color.
Right.
You don't see black. You don't see white. You don't see Chinese. You just love people. You're a human being.
You do see a color. When you see somebody, you see what they are. You can tell a person is Chinese, black, or white. You only see that. You don't see color when it comes to black people. You never hear that when it comes to anybody else but black people. When y'all talk about that black friend, all of a sudden, I don't see color. But you see the color and you see what everybody else looks like, and you have no problem acknowledging that. No, it's not hogwash, ma'am. It's not hogwash.
There's your problem. You cannot accept that people can truly just love people.
Of course they can. I never said that. So what are you talking about?
Just what I said to you.
Now, what you're doing now, wait. What you're doing now, you're making up an argument and you're getting upset with your own argument, ma'am. So I want you to deal with my words. I never said you can't love nobody. I never said any of that. So what you're going to have to do is really direct what I said and tell me what you feel about what I said, not what you're interpreting what I said. Because now you're filtering it and interpreting what I'm saying the way you want to interpret it. I never said anything about you can't love somebody. I never said any of that. And I'm not going to defend on myself on something that's going on in your imagination that I didn't say. What problem do you have with what I said? Louise, I'm here, Louise. What problem do you have with what I said? Not your interpretation, ma'am. What I said. What problem do you have?
You're talking about white supremacists.
Right. Which is, do you believe white supremacy exists?
Oh, of course I do.
All right.
It's disgusting.
Absolutely. So what's the problem you have with that? With me talking about that? What's the problem you have with that, ma'am?
It's the things that you talk about that you're I don't know how to explain it to you, but you're extraordinarily how do I say this? I want to use words that like you're hateful. You're
shout out to No Sleep.
I'm hateful to who?
You know, it's like reverse discrimination.
Oh Lord. Really?
I was listening.
Ma'am, wait, ma'am. Oh, reverse discrimination?
Yeah.
So are you saying that I'm practicing reverse discrimination?
Let me explain. White people can't use negative derogatory words towards black people. But black people can towards white people.
Ma'am, are you trying to say there's something called black supremacy? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm trying to say that black people are just as negative about white people as white people are about black people.
But you still get the loan. You still get the job. Your schools don't get gentrified, ma'am. Black so-called racism or black supremacy is only relegated to name calling, ma'am. So please, let's not make black name calling comparative to systematic white racism that has existed in this country for hundreds of years.
You know where you're so wrong.
Please correct me, ma'am.
I'm white. I don't get the job. You know what I had to do? I had to create my job. I had to open up a store because I couldn't get hired. I'm a white woman.
Ma'am.
And
ma'am, just because you didn't get it don't mean that it's not there. Ma'am, just because you didn't get it doesn't mean it's not there for you. Just because you didn't get it doesn't mean it's not there for you. There is not one black person that can prevent you from getting a job anywhere, ma'am. Let's be very realistic.
No, stop. Time out. I didn't say that there was a black person that's stopping me from getting a job.
But when you say there's comparative racism coming from black people, that is what you're saying. There is no comparative racism coming from black people that's equal to white supremacy. Are you trying to say that, ma'am? Because like I said, black racism is just calling names, which isn't racism at all. That's just bigotry.
You know, I'm just going to have to say this, is that you keep twisting what I'm trying to say to you. And that's
Louise, I'm listening to you. Louise, your voice is live on my show. I'm not twisting anything you're saying. Louise, you can say anything you want to say. But the thing is, I don't want you to say I said something that I didn't say. You said, well, you think, well, people shouldn't love each other because that's where I have to stop you. Because you can't just make up something I said to argue with that. I want you to deal with what I say. Go ahead.
You're saying, I mean, you're talking about black women who are with white men, and you're calling them, I mean, as if they're the white men that they're with are their masters.
Ma'am. Have you heard Donald Sterling's tape, ma'am?
Yes, I did.
That sounds like a scene from Django, okay? It sounds like a scene from a slave movie. It's 2014, and you have black women who are dating white men, not in all cases, but you're dating a white dude who's talking to you like a slave wench in 2014. That's a problem, ma'am. Hello?
I'm just going to say, this is what I'm going to say about this gentleman. Okay? And this is just what I'm going to say. What's really on?
Because what you're trying to do, ma'am, you're trying to filter a lot of what you're saying. Just say what's on your mind.
Ma'am. He said it was his culture.
Right.
He tried to explain to the woman that he was raised in a different society. Instead of completely crucifying the man, I'm not saying that he's right in everything that he said. But let's give the man some sort of kudos that he has tried to change.
Louise,
he was raised in a totally different lifestyle than you and I were raised in.
Louise. This is the problem with white supremacy right here, Louise. People, unfortunately, like yourself, ma'am, you give blatant white supremacy a pass. You try to make excuses for blatant white supremacy. You're trying to make excuses for Donald Sterling, ma'am. What he said was inexcusable.
No, I'm not.
Ma'am, you're saying we should give him kudos. We should give him kudos for trying to.
You got to admit he was set up by it. Number one.
Yes.
Number two.
And yes, does that negate the validity of what he was saying? Of course he was set up. He said those words though, ma'am.
Of course he did. He did say those words. But come on. You're in, I just don't see him as, I guess maybe, how do I say this? I don't see him as a slave master.
You don't?
I see him as a man that fell in love with a woman, sincerely fell in love with her.
Ma'am, did you not hear him say, I give my blacks cars, I give them homes, they should be happy. I give them a place to live. That's what slave masters would say. So are you trying to say, ma'am, Louise, are you trying to say that you really don't believe that Donald Sterling is a white supremacist?
I don't know enough about Mr. Sterling to be able to say that.
You heard his words.
I didn't hear that.
You heard.
I heard you say that. I didn't hear that in the tape.
Well, that's what white supremacy is. When you are saying that you are better than a race of people based on you being white, that's what makes you a white supremacist, man.
Did he say those exact words, or are you putting words in his mouth?
Let me tell you exactly what he said. She asked him, "Are white Jews better than black Jews?" His answer, ma'am, was yes, 100% they are. Those are his words. So this is not even a question. He said it out of his, not just him saying it, ma'am. He practices white supremacy. Because, see, this goes beyond just him saying words. There was a case for Donald Sterling years ago where he had a housing discrimination case where it was known that he discriminated against black tenants. And he had to make a payout, a federal payout for housing discrimination. So this man has a track record of discriminatory white supremacist practices, not just name calling, but practices where he has disenfranchised the lives of black people. Do you see that as a problem, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
All right. That's all we're trying to say. So what problem do you have with me for pointing that out, ma'am?
It's not that you're pointing out possibly facts. It's the way that you say it.
Oh, really? Okay. So what don't you like about the way I'm saying it?
I just feel as if you're awfully negative against white people, that you don't see that there are good white people.
Ma'am, I never said that.
People, there are Chinese people.
Ma'am, I do business with white people. I'm not negative. I never said anything negative about white people in general. I've said over and over, all white people are not racist, ma'am. I've been pointing out the white supremacists. Whenever I have a problem with a white person, I point out a white supremacist. That's the only type of white person I have a problem with. Any white person who actively practices white supremacy. I should have a problem with that, ma'am, because white supremacy affects my life and the lives of other black people. White supremacy is very unjust. That's a system of injustice. So I can't talk nice about a system of injustice. Would you talk nice and say things in a nice way about a system of injustice?
No, and maybe I should listen to your program more often.
Right.
What?
Louise, who is that in the back? Your husband or your son?
My boyfriend, who is black, who is wants me to tell you that he's posting on Coley.
You got a black boy. I'm done. You got a black boyfriend. Oh God. Oh.
Excuse me, and what is so funny about that? I was married for 25 years to a black man.
Oh God.
I had a child with him whom we lost to cancer.
Oh God. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't want that's not cool. But your boyfriend.
And why does that seem funny to you?
How does your boyfriend feel about what I'm saying?
James, you want
He did what? James. So you got a black boyfriend. I'm thinking that, okay. And I've always said this, because I don't want to say that you're a suspected white supremacist, but the fact that you will coddle certain white supremacists is very suspect, ma'am. That's very suspect, the fact that you would try to protect.
There's your problem, the twisting.
No, those are your words, ma'am. Your words, you were like, well, we got to give kudos to Donald Sterling.
You can't see that people can love people for just who they are and what they are.
You can. I never said
Therefore,
that.
I have to now be suspect
Because you're protecting and you're trying to speak up and make excuses for a blatant white supremacist. So
no, I'm not making. I told you that I disagreed with white supremacy.
But you were kind of agreeing with Donald Sterling. You said, well, he was set up. You said he was, your words, he was set up. We got to give him kudos. Those are your words.
I did say that. He comes from a whole, I'm not saying that he's right. There's the fine line. But I'm saying that he comes from unfortunately, you and I know this, he comes from a different culture. He comes from a different era. I'm not saying it's the right way. I'm just saying that it affects it has affected him. And I feel like, not that he's right, but I feel like he has made changes.
Ma'am, are you trying to blame his blatant white supremacist mindset on him being old? Are you using well, he's old, so he gets a white supremacist pass? Is that the excuse you're trying to use?
Well, I was listening to a black comedian just today, and he was making jokes about older black men that really hate white people, and the whole black crowd was laughing at it. And how when they're to their faces, they're very kind, and they're to white faces, and then when they walk away, they start, I'm not going to use the words that he was using, but that they're cursing, and I mean, I was laughing at it too.
But look, but you're doing another. That's what white supremacists do, Louise. They'll listen to one comedy routine. You'll see one black person, and that's supposed to represent the whole black community. Just because a comedian says that, y'all do that. Y'all base all your views on black folks based on what one or two people say about black folks. Why are you bringing up what a comedian says? What does that have to do with the whole black community?
Because he was pointing out exactly what I'm pointing out to you. If you run into an elderly black man, he just used it as a joke. And
because most old black people don't hate white people. That's a lie, by the way. Most elderly white people are still kissing white people's asses to this day. They don't hate no white people. Let's be very realistic. And even if they did, they can't do anything to affect their lives. So let's just be realistic. That's a moot point anyway. They can't affect the lives of any kind of white person. But Donald can. But Donald can't afford. I don't care how old he is. He's affecting the lives of people now. All right? I don't give a damn how old he is. He's just been practicing white supremacy longer than some of the younger white supremacists. He don't get a pass for being old. And that's another cop-out. And that's the problem. People keep making excuses for white supremacy. It's unjust. I don't give a damn if you practice it back in the day. You wouldn't give an old Nazi a pass. You wouldn't say, oh, he was just a Nazi. You got to understand, they came from Germany back in the 1940s. That's just how they were. They still put those Nazis on trial. They put those Nazis on trial now. If they find one that's 110 years old, his ass is going to trial. They're not giving Nazis a pass. So you try to give white supremacists a pass, and that's a problem right there.
Okay, no, I'm not. And number one, what I'm trying to say is hatred. Hatred on the black side for the older culture and hatred on the white side is just as offensive, but it's on both sides.
We ain't talking about who's offending anybody. You're just talking about name-calling and offensiveness. We're talking about a system. You keep trying to compare a system of white supremacy to name-calling, which is nothing. Being offended, being uncomfortable. It's not the same, Louise. Do you understand that?
Do you truly believe that, and I'm just asking this in sincerity, do you truly believe that all white people are against black people? Because that's the way you sound.
No, you keep saying the way I sound and the way you're insinuating I'm saying. I have not said one word about all white people hating black people. I've said nothing close to that. But you keep filtering that through your mind in order to justify.
Okay, what are you talking about? Why are you calling it a white?
I've never said that all white people are racist. They're not. I know they're not. All white people are not racist. You keep saying that. It's not going to make it true. I've not said that whatsoever. But white supremacy does exist. And white supremacy is a problem in this country, and it affects people's lives who are people of color like myself. Does that make sense?
Of course it does.
So why are you acting like I'm saying something else that's confusing? You're trying to be confused. I've been very specific about what I said, ma'am. I haven't said anything that's confusing, anything that could be left to insinuation. I've been very specific about what I'm saying. But you keep saying, well, you're just making it seem like nobody can love another person. No, ma'am. I'm very specific about what I'm saying. So what's
well, then I was very specific about the fact of what I shared with you, and you started laughing, thinking that it was funny.
It was funny to find out you had a black boyfriend. That was funny, because I tell black people all the time, just because a person is having sex with you, don't think that they don't still have some white supremacist views. And it sounds like you have some suspected white supremacist views, Louise.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm righteous.
I know you're not.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't. But it has nothing to do with color. It has to do with how certain people live their lives.
I want black people to listen to you, and I want brothers to listen. People think that if I dick this white woman down, I'm gonna really switch her over. You can have sex with white women until you're blue in the face, and they will still have a camaraderie with the dominant society and with some sectors of white supremacy. So this is a great lesson that black people need to learn. And it goes both ways. I talked about how just because a white dude is having sex with a black woman, that don't mean that he's not a white supremacist. And it goes both ways. Brothers get on this thing where white lady's laying up with you. You don't think she won't get up out that bed and practice white supremacy? You got another thing coming.
Now I'm a white supremacist.
I said you're suspected. You're not one. I don't know if you are for sure. I don't know you. You're suspected. You're a suspect white supremacist, ma'am, because I don't know for sure. So I got to put you in the suspect category because the thing is, Louise, what do you do for a living, ma'am?
Because I couldn't get a job, I opened up a store.
There you go. And how did you open up that store? Where'd you get the money?
I didn't have money. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to sit here. I didn't have money.
Okay. It matters, but I feel you. It matters, Louise, but I feel you. You see? Because you don't want to turn it. You're not turning in that white supremacy card because you know you can get goodies and you can get certain things with that white card. Not that I don't know if you're white supremacist or not, ma'am. I'm not saying you're white supremacist or not. That's why I said suspect. But that white privilege card, you got that. And you know you got it. So this is why you can kind of protect certain people who have certain white supremacist views because you know the value. Even if you don't have a job, you still got that privilege to hook up with somebody who can give you money to even start a business. See, that's white privilege. And it is what it is. This is why we have to dialogue about it. And we got to be very honest about racism and white supremacy and white privilege. We got to talk realistically about race. And my thing is this. I don't worry about people getting offended because you're like, I don't like the way you're saying stuff. Well, I don't like white supremacy. White supremacy makes me uncomfortable. You being uncomfortable with the words, you'll get over it. I have black children. I don't want my black children having to go to school with a person who kind of thinks like you, Louise. Or a person who's being taught, or a teacher. I don't want a teacher, Louise, I don't want a teacher who kind of has your views teaching my kids. Because you'll slip that bullshit in them. You'll slip that into the curriculum, man.
If I had listened to the white people, I never would have married my husband. If I had listened to the white people,
right.
I never would have told my child because I was taken aside and told that my child, because she would be mulatto or he would be mulatto, wouldn't be accepted in society, and how cruel I would be if I had a child.
I know what they tell you. Trust me, I know the whole conversation your family had. I know because you got some white supremacists in your family, and that's another thing. Because that's why you don't really want to point the finger at white supremacy because then you're gonna have to point it at mom and dad, and that's a hell of a thing to do because you know how mom and dad, know how they felt about you getting with that brother. You know some of the words they said.
They were not happy. But you know what? They did change. They were not happy. They tried to stop the marriage. I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't have the negative influence in my life that way. I did.
I know.
But you know, The whole point is that it was more important that the person that I was with was a worthy person, was a wonderful person, was an incredible man. He was intelligent. He was wonderful. He was a fantastic father.
Absolutely.
Those,
I believe that.
That's the things that were important. It didn't matter what anybody said to me. It was who that person was.
Right. Right, but again, I get that. But the thing is, the reason why you almost sounded like you were making excuses for Donald Sterling. You were giving him the benefit of the doubt to a certain degree. And you know why you were doing that, Louise? Because Donald Sterling represents your dad. Your dad is Donald Sterling. He has those. He has the same views. You heard some of that same stuff in your household. And that's why you're not so quick to throw him under the bus, because it's like throwing your parents under the bus. And this is a dialogue that we have to talk about, because if you are a person in the white society and you are not a white supremacist yourself, but then you're surrounded by white supremacists, what do you do? So that's a dialogue that we need to have in this country. We really got to have that dialogue. But this whole thing where black folks can't talk about it, I'm talking about it because that shit is unjust.
Time out. My father and my mother always had taught me, and hear what I'm just about to share.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this. I'm dying to hear this, Louise.
They taught me that I should not discriminate. They taught me to love all people. They taught me that.
But
then the difference. No, let me finish. The difference was, I truly believed that. Thank God they raised me that way with an open mind. But here's the difference. When I took it to the point of dating someone and marrying someone, that's when, if you want to call it white supremacy,
exactly,
the lines change.
Are your family? Well, let me ask you this. Are your parents liberals? They're like Democrats.
They voted both ways.
Okay, so one voted.
It depended upon the candidate.
Okay, but you would consider them liberal for the most part. If they wanted you to have friends and they didn't care what you did and all that. Did you grow up have a liberal background?
I had a very firm father who definitely had a course of how he wanted his children to be raised and behave.
Right. But the thing is, that's how white supremacy works. See, people think that a white supremacist, you don't want anything to do with no black people and all. A white supremacist, they don't have a problem interacting with black people as long as the black person is in an inferior position. The minute you date or lay up with, now you're equal. The minute you move next door to a black person or they move next door to you, now it's equal. That's where the white supremacy comes in, because we don't want that. And if you think like that, that makes you a white supremacist, ma'am.
Then I would have to agree with you. If you want to use the term white supremacist, I don't like that terminology.
I know you don't. You know why you don't like it? You know why you don't like it? Because you know why you don't like it? Louise, stop. Louise, you got to stop talking, sister. You know why you don't like that term? Is that because the term, it's accusatory. And it puts the blame where the blame should be. Because the term racism, which I don't like to use, racism gives people an out. They can distance themselves from that. People play games with the word racism. People try to pretend that, well, racism is the Ku Klux Klan. I'm not that. Racism, well, black people are racist. Al Sharpton is racist. So people pretend that racism is just this formless entity that nobody knows what it is. But when you say exactly what racism is and the problem with racism, which is systematic white supremacy, now you're putting it somewhere. You're putting the racism right where it's supposed to be. Because that's the problem we have with racism. Not because anybody's calling names. We have a problem with the systematic practice of white supremacy. That's the problem we have in this country.
No, I guess I would have to. I have to agree with you, because there was no one more shocked than myself when I brought before we were married, I brought him home and he asked my father for my hand in marriage. Okay, and there was nobody more shocked than myself because of the way that I was raised. Right. And again, I thank God that my parents at least raised me that way. But yet, Yeah, I agree with you. You're right. It changed when their daughter was going to be with a black man.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you on that. And I saw that. And it disappointed me in my parents.
I can imagine.
I can't change that, but I fell in love with a fantastic person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, does your family, have they disowned you?
They did initially.
Right.
They did initially.
Right.
They told my then fiance that he would never be welcome at home.
Mm-hmm.
If I had children, they would never be welcome at home.
Mm-hmm.
And my then fiance sat at the table, and I have to give him absolutely all the credit in the world for his strength and his pride in knowing who and what he was as a man. He looked at my father and he said, "You can discriminate against me. You can keep me away from your home. The only thing I'm asking you is do not cut yourself off from your daughter. She loves you. She needs you. I can live without you."
Mm-hmm. So y'all patch things up with the family, huh?
We just lived our lives.
Okay.
And then unfortunately, my daughter had a brain tumor, and my parents came to my husband and I and apologized and said that a child taught them how stupid they were as people. She had taught them about the real meaning of love, that they were so sorry for the way that they behaved, that this child had educated them more than anything because of her illness and how much they loved her as an individual, and they apologized for their behavior.
And this is why it's so very important. This country has never tackled the issue of white supremacy ever on a national level. And the sickness of it, where people have to disown their families, and this whole dynamic that's been going on for decade after decade after decade, that's never openly discussed on a national level. And it's a cancer that nobody wants to talk about. When we talk about race, it's always, well, the black folks are the problem, and Al Sharpton. It's all of this deflection. And there's suffering going on in these white homes with white supremacy. This shit is cancerous. It gives privileges and benefits on one end, but it eats you up on another end. And that's something that really has to be discussed in this country. And we got to be brave enough to talk about it and not sweeping that shit under the rug. And then when black people like me, who are not afraid, because I don't give a damn about nobody being offended. A lot of black people don't want to talk about it because they'll get the reaction that you gave. I'm offended by what you're saying, and you get a whole bunch of that. That scares black folks. I'm not scared of that because I can handle that. But we do need to talk about white supremacy, not just racism, specifically white supremacy, and get to the root of it so we can move on from it. If we're going to move on and stop pretending that we're post-racial, and then we have a Donald Sterling and a Cliven Bundy pop out shocking the world, which you shouldn't really be shocked. You feel me?
I understand. I do appreciate the fact that what he did was, what he said, maybe I am making excuses. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that everything that he said was completely, totally wrong.
That's your dad. You're talking about Donald Sterling, right?
Yeah, because I don't know enough about the man to sit here and say. I'm not saying what
Louise, a person saying that black people are beneath white Jewish people, that's wrong, ma'am. There's no way to really filter that. That's wrong. What you heard on that tape of him saying, I don't want black people coming to my games, is that wrong or not?
That's disgusting.
Of course. I don't know why I don't know if it's wrong. I mean, damn, it's pretty cut and dry. He didn't really beat around the bush. The views this man had were horrible. Him telling a woman if she can not be so black and act more like a white girl, that's horrible. That's not just that's horrible. There's no excuses for that. And when you try to make excuses or try to rationalize that, then people are going to look at you as being a suspected white supremacist. And then you say, well, why are you black people looking at us, all white people, as being racist? Because when you co-sign that, That's a bad look. See, black people, if a black person does something fucked up, we'll hey, he's fucked up. He don't represent me. We'll be the first to say it. But when you have the Donald Sterlings of the world out here regurgitating all of this hateful venom, people in the dominant society, they have a tendency to kind of protect this guy. And that's a problem. And if you're going to protect dudes like that in any way, just be ready to be suspected of being a white supremacist yourself. You feel me?
How about just someone who can simply forgive and, you know, and just feel, I'm not saying I forgive him for his wrong, I don't know how to express what I want to express. That's okay.
That's okay. All right, but hey, I got to get some other calls, but thank you so much, Louise. And tell your husband who's dating you, is this him? Hold on, I got a video for him.
What about black on black crime? Where the white women at? All white peoples ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime? Where the white women at? All white peoples ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime? Where the white women at? All white peoples ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime? Where the white women at? All white peoples ain't bad. We is our own worst enemy. What about black on black crime?
Indeed, that goes out to Louise's dude. Shout out to Louise's dude. You got you a suspected white supremacist you laying up with, brother. You might be on the coon train. My God. That's very interesting. That Louise call was very, very interesting. That call was very interesting. See, Louise, she did a very common tactic, which was put words in my mouth because it's very difficult to... What's up, Ola? Shout out to Ola. It's very difficult to argue with the words I'm saying. I burped, sorry. It's very difficult to argue with the words I'm saying. So a lot of times when people are suspected white supremacists, they'll make up stuff and argue with that. Well, you think that you can't love no people? No. So that's why you got to bring it back. I'm not doing that. I'm not about to argue with her interpretations. Let's deal with my words. She knew what I was saying was true. She knew what I was saying was true. That's why she was coddling Donald Sterling. She was making excuses for Donald Sterling because Donald Sterling represents her dad. You dig? That's why a lot of people in the dominant society, they don't want to point the finger at these people and call them the white supremacists they are because they got one of them in their family. They got a mom or a grandma or an uncle who thinks just like that. Yeah, she tried to be slick with defending white supremacy. She got real slick. She was Louise. She was trying to defend white supremacy. And that's nothing to defend. No, I'm not rubbing salt in her wounds. But no, but a lot of people think like that in the dominant society. A lot of people are like, I'm not racist. I got a family full of them, but I'm not. Look at me. I'm having sex with a black person. And that's another trick. That's one of the biggest tricks that they use on black people. This is why, have you noticed all of these interracial dating shows, and you got the Kanye and the Kim Kardashians and the scandal shows? They got this trick that they're putting on black people that if we have sex with you, that means we're not racist. A person can lick and suck you and get right on up and practice white supremacy like nothing happened. like nothing happened. And the reality, the truth was seeping in. The truth was seeping in. It's real heavy, man. This is, again, this country, we've never talked about systematic white supremacy. That's something that needs to be talked about. It's a cancer. It's really a cancer that has to be talked about. Whenever we talk about race, we always point the finger at all the black people. That's not where the problem lies, because we don't create the public policies. We don't keep this bullshit going. It's not even, well, you saying that all white people are, that's the go-to argument that nobody never said. Real heavy stuff. After to go on Rush Limbaugh. Heavy stuff. Let's see who we got on the phone. What's up? Who's calling? Hello?
Hello?
What's up, player?
Man, how you doing, player? I'm calling out of Milwaukee.
What's going
Man,
on?
I just want to let you know I got Hidden Colors 1 and 2, and I got my copy off Amazon.
Yes,
just
sir.
to let you know I ain't deal with bootleg, man.
Yes, sir. Much respect,
And I just
man.
want to tell you, man, when I seen your DVDs, man, and I didn't even realize what they did with the millionaires in Oklahoma City back in 1920s, man.
Yeah.
That was cold-blooded, man.
Yeah,
They
heavy.
burnt up them mansions and everything on them men, women, and children, man.
Yeah.
Got mad.
Yeah.
Deputized 7,000 Ku Klux Klan and took all their stuff, didn't even give them nothing.
Exactly.
That was cold-blooded, man.
Exactly.
That was cold-blooded, man. And I just want to say this. You do whatever action you take is going to be a reaction. What comes around goes around, and they don't realize that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I just want to say, man, you keep it up, man. I appreciate you. I've been following you, man, all over this, man. You a good dude, man. And I appreciate the game that you give it.
Much
And
respect.
I'm in the town. I'm in Milwaukee, and I'm the home of the infamous Pimpin' Ken.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
you know, we got game up here, too.
Yes,
So
indeed.
we got game up here.
Yes, indeed.
But the thing is, we got to have the game of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and everything else.
Yes,
Because
indeed.
if we fail to figure out where we come from, man, we're going to repeat this same old cycle, man. They're going to put the same old stuff on us.
Absolutely.
This guy, Magic Johnson, is an icon, man. This man had AIDS. They say he had that. He don't got that stuff no more. And you mean to tell me he brought millions and billions upon billions of dollars to that city, and you telling this woman that love him, don't bring him to no more of my games.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And this cat probably was sitting behind him at some of those games or next to him.
Absolutely. You know,
But
he's
he
an
didn't,
icon. We love him
he
out
didn't
here.
show those options towards him.
Yes, indeed. I remember. Thank you for the call,
And
fam. Okay, this brother, I had to cut you off. This brother was going to keep on going. I got to, much respect. I wasn't trying to shit on your brother, but I got to get to these other calls, and brother was going to keep on going. So, much respect to you, brother. Much respect to you. Man. Yes, indeed. I had to wrap my man up, man. My man was going on and on. Yes, indeed. They say you sound like Alexander O'Neal. You sound like he had him a little sip of Thunderbird before he called up. And another thing, brother. What we gonna have to do, man, is organize. Hold on, baby. Let me give me some of that Wild Irish. What we gonna have to do, baby, is open up these stores and these black businesses. You feel me? This brother was making him a little something to drink while he was talking. That's an old player right there. He knew about those old PIs. That's an old player right there. I love to just sit down on the block and just chop it up with old dude. Some of those old Milwaukee players. Yes, indeed. Oh, we had somebody in Jamaica was in here trolling. Man. Yes, indeed. But yeah, like I said, man, I saw Goodbye Uncle Tom, real good movie. But like I said, man, just because you're having sex with somebody, don't think for a minute if they're a white dude or a white woman, don't think that they're not able to practice white supremacy if they fucking you. Don't ever get it twisted. Black folks got it twisted. You think because somebody's licking you and sucking you down that they won't throw that white supremacy card out there on the table? No. Nobody. Don't get it twisted. You dig? And hey, y'all, don't forget, look up here. Follow me on this page. Click on the follow button where you can become a follower on this show. Y'all can listen to it every week. We do the show every Sunday. The game is heavy. Every Sunday you can tune in to the Tariq Elite Show right here on Ustream. And then I got my Wednesday podcast at TariqRadio.com. You guys can listen to it there. We just chop up good game all the time. We chop up good game all the time. The number is 818-850-5404. What's up, Shella Bell? How the ladies doing? All the ladies press 5. Let's see who we got here. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, Ken. This is Ken calling from Chicago.
You calling from Chicago?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Well, I'm from Chicago. I'm from Chicago, but I live in Atlanta right now.
And what's your name, brother?
Ken.
Ken?
Yeah, K-E-N, Ken.
Okay, what's on your mind, Ken?
Two things. One, just wanted to say, really appreciate the show. Appreciate everything you've been doing. I just wanted to say, big ups to you for that.
Much respect.
My next question is, I started a water company, and I'm trying to figure out some ways to get my company popping. You talk a lot about group economics, so I'm just trying to figure out how to expand my water company.
Like what kind of water company? I mean, that's very vague. Like, what do you drink the water?
Well,
you swim in it? What do you do with the water?
Well, we sell the water. It's a bottled water company. It's called Molly Water. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to expand the market. I mean, I'm trying to sell it, but I don't really have anything to sell. So I'm like selling T-shirts right now, but eventually I want to actually sell water. So I'm trying to figure out, I guess, a business plan to sell water, but I don't have the water to sell because it's kind of expensive, if that makes any sense.
Okay, so you don't have the business up yet. That's what you're saying?
I mean, I'm selling shirts right now, but I want to sell water, but I'm not,
Okay, you got to be very clear. No, see, that's the thing, brother. You got to be very clear what your vision is. See, you can't even articulate what the vision of the water is. You're like, I want to sell water, but I ain't got the water because the water is expensive, so I'm selling T-shirts. What you said don't make no sense, brother.
Well, it's electrolytes in the water.
Okay. So you selling water with electrolytes, but you don't have the water, but you got the T-shirts.
Yeah, well, we have a bottled prototype.
Listen, brother. Let's stop. Because brothers, that's the thing. When brothers do business, y'all got to stop doing it real niggerish and half-ass, man. Y'all got to have the plan concise before you bring it to somebody. What you have is an idea. Niggas be selling the sizzle before they sell the steak, dude. You gotta if you're selling water, sell water. Don't sell T-shirts promoting something that don't exist. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, bro. I appreciate that. I'm gonna follow you on Facebook and Twitter because I've been watching your stuff and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I
got your first commercial. I got the first commercial. I got your first commercial for your water, brother. This is the first commercial for your water company. Is this you right here? Oh man, how this nigga gonna sell water, but he don't have the water, but he's selling the shirts? I don't even think that was a troll call. I think that was absolutely real. Dudes be doing half-ass business like that. They never have their plan together. Say, look, man, what I'm going to do, man, I'm going to start a real estate business, right? And what I want to do is get my license and then start advertising my real estate business on billboards. So what I'm going to do right now is start giving pony rides, and then those pony rides, that's going to kind of funnel the money into the real estate business. And like, what? Niggas be having all types of roundabout bullshit ass hustles that ain't got nothing to do with really handling business. My God. Hey, brother, what I want to do, I want to create a new iPhone app. And then what I want to do first, I want to start a petting zoo, right? And then advertise the iPhone app at the petting zoo. I'm going to put a little billboard on a little bitty baby goat and then have the goat run around the petting zoo to let everybody know that we're going to have the iPhones app. Like, dude, what you talking about? Dudes be having all of this difficult roundabout bullshit. Okay. So he got a bottle prototype. I ain't knocking his hustle. I'm just like, be concise with what you're trying to do. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Dudes don't have no real concise idea of what they're trying to do. They have all these little crazy ass gimmicks. What's up? Who's calling?
Hello.
What's up? Who's this?
What's up? This Nick from Atlanta.
What's up, Nick from Atlanta? How you doing, fam?
I'm all right, man. I was just trying to figure out, do you think the Moorish American identity can be used as a vehicle, legal vehicle?
Sound like you were scratching. Sound like you were scratching and sampling for a minute. It's gonna be legal. I'm fucking with you, but no, I feel what you're trying to ask. Somebody asked me that not too long ago. I did a lecture down in Texas, and somebody was talking about the whole Moorish American thing. I'm gonna talk about that on another show because that's kind of a deep. But I'll talk about that pretty soon, man. Thanks for the call. I don't even want to get that's too deep of a topic to get into right now. And we've already been talking about some heavy topics tonight, and then we'll be all over the place. Man. But don't look. You see how fly this shirt is? A lot of the ladies like the shirts. My new Tariq Elite shirts. You can get them at TariqElite.com. Go to TariqElite.com and get the brand new Tariq Elite button downs. The shirts are real fly, nice, good, soft, Macish fabric. The shirts are on sale right now. Step your game up, fellas. It's time to get suited and booted out here. I'm tired of brothers out here wearing dresses, wearing miniskirts and Daisy Dukes and shit. It's time to man up, get your grown and sexy on, look like you're about some business, put on something nice, and keep your mackin' crisp. So go to TariqElite.com. A lot of the ladies like the models I put up. What's up, Mulatto Thoughts? These fit just right. Not bigger or smaller, just right. Okay, we got Mulatto Thoughts in here trolling. There you go. We're going to ban your ass. The trolls are in here heavy tonight. Well, we got a lot of extra people in here, so we got a lot of folks in here, so the trolls are very heavy. And don't forget my new pay-per-view special available at TariqRadio.com. That's available right now, too. That's called Are We in a Post-Racial America? You can get that and download it right now at TariqRadio.com. Go to Tariq Radio, hit the button on the top of the page that says Pay-Per-View Specials, and you can download it right now. The whole lecture. I put up some clips on YouTube of the lecture, and you can download the whole lecture right now. Real good game. Real good game, ladies and gentlemen. Say Mulatto wasn't trolling? Man. All right, what's up with the ladies in here? What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up?
I want to know if you happen to see that in Norway they're trying to open up a human zoo. How they had Africans in the zoo before,
yeah,
as an art exhibit, as an art exhibit to talk about racism.
Yeah, you know what? And they did that back in Europe, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. They did that over here, too. They had up human zoos. And, racism, and Brother Neely Fuller said this, with racism, because we don't check it, we just keep going in circles with racism.
But there's a black guy and a white guy that are coming up with this as the art thing, and I was wondering, what do you think about black people who are trying to spark unnecessary conversation?
They put the black dude. Always put a black face on it. Now that's the whole new thing. They put a black dude on there to co-sign it because we got a lot of scared Negro coons out here that'll just go along with the program because they get that pat on the head, just like that dude hanging out with Cliven Bundy talking about Cliven Bundy's not a racist and I would take a bullet for Cliven. We got black men who are cooning and sucking up and bowing down to white supremacy, and it's a very bad look. It makes them look weak and cowardly. But the thing is, the white supremacists are always behind that stuff. They'll put a black face next to them, but remember that they're behind that. And that's just racism going full circle. All right, thanks for the call. This is why, with racism, white supremacy, they're bringing back Jim Crow 2.0. They're taking affirmative action back, taking voting rights away. I mean, we keep going full circle with racism. We keep going in the same circles over and over again because we do not deal with systematic white supremacy. Black people get these little symbolic victories and then we chill out. And you cannot chill out as long as the system of white supremacy is still creating injustices. Oh yeah, P.T. Barnum definitely started those human zoos back in the day. Yes, indeed. I want some of the ladies to call up. What's up? Who's calling?
Yo, Tariq, what's up? It's Rico the Swallow. How you doing tonight, man?
What's up, shit, bro? You sound like you about to bust some fucking rhymes, man. What's going on with you, Rico the Swallow?
Chilling, man. I just called to chime in on what's going down, man. I thought it was a real sucker move by the Clippers tonight, man. I wouldn't have played it at all. You would have had to suspend me or fine me.
Yeah.
Would have been no way this would have been playing out there tonight.
Yeah, I feel you, man. But thanks for the call, fam. Yes, indeed. But yeah, man, this is why, man, we got to start thinking about getting our own leagues. We need our own leagues. We need our own league. We're going to have to start thinking just like we did during Jim Crow because they're pushing us back to Jim Crow. You better start creating an economic base. We need to be thinking about getting a black-owned league so that you don't sit up and let these people talk to you like you're a goddamn slave in the 1800s. We got to start getting our parallel economy on. That's why we got Hidden Colors 3 coming. I saw some of the first cut of Hidden Colors 3 because it's basically done. There's just a couple of little tweaks and stuff that we got to put on it. But my editor came to my house earlier. They gave me the DVD of the first edit. Nigga. Woo! When I say the fire is crisp, I cannot wait till y'all see Hidden Colors 3. Dude, it's a monster. It's a monster, my dude. And that's coming in June. It might be later in June. I wanted it to be on June 6th, but I'm just tweaking everything, making sure everything is nice and crisp. So it won't be June 6th. It'll be a little bit later in June, possibly early July. But either late June or early July when it's going to be in theaters. But I keep you guys posted. But we're done. We're just tweaking little bits in there. And I'm pushing it back so we can promote it a little bit more because it's already May. It's about to be May in a few days. And I want a little more than a month to promote it. So it's real fly. And you can get Hidden Colors 1 and 2 at hiddencolorsfilm.com. Thank you very much, BK. BX, you like the shirt? You can get a shirt like this too at TariqElite.com. You getting the lecture now? Good game. Good game, yes indeed. Let's get some ladies calling up. What's up? Who's calling?
What's up with you, man?
What's up? Who is this?
It's the problem.
The Problem?
Yes, sir.
All right, where you calling from? The Problem?
I'm calling from South Carolina.
There you go. What's going on out there, man? What's on your mind?
Shit, ain't nothing. I just want to say that shirt fly.
Yes, sir.
Is it all right if I say fuck Louise?
No, we're trying to educate Louise. We're trying to educate her. And I want the education. Yeah, I want the education. My nigga went real gangster with it. We're trying to educate her, you know, and other people. This is an active educational dialogue, so I always try to be constructive with the dialogue. So, you know,
yes, sir. Yes,
you know,
sir.
so you know, I welcome all people to dialogue. No hatred and no vitriol, but you know, she's learning. But thanks for the call, fam. My nigga said, "Can I say fuck Louise?" Now, Louise, let her talk. Let her talk. Let us educate her. And where are my white brothers and sisters? I want some of the white brothers and sisters to call up. I like for you to call up. All the white brothers and sisters, call on up. Let's see what's on your mind. What's up? Who's calling?
This is K Blue from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
There you go. What's your name?
K Blue, Cream Blue.
K Blue, Queen Blue, what?
Kareem.
Oh,
Kareem.
Kareem Blue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on, spell that. When all y'all niggas getting these names? Is that your real name?
Yeah. Well, that Blue is my last name. Kareem is my first.
Oh, okay, Kareem. Sound like you said Queen Blue. I'm like, oh, we got a gay rapper calling up? I'm like, what kind of, okay, and not to hate our gay brothers, but I'm not trying to come to your record release. With your new album, Get Dick, your new album is Get Dick or Die Trying. I'm not coming to the Get Dick or Die Trying album release party, my dude. All right, what's on your mind?
Oh, cool. I want to talk to you about, I'm in this program where I went to Fayetteville State University, which is a historically black college.
Yes.
And they have a program called RISE. And it's only for minorities and to help get PhDs, like you pursuing a PhD, and I'm pursuing a PhD in chemistry.
Okay.
So they about to open up the program for disadvantaged whites.
Oh.
And yeah, so we had a meeting with like the people over the program. And at the end of the meeting, you know, I had said that I believe in like 3 to 4 years that this program will be mostly Caucasians with disadvantage or disabilities. I feel as though y'all pushing this out because I think if it is not like a lot of people black people coming in, the programs for blacks, either programs should be to shut down or you should find ways to get more blacks to come in. Because I say our struggle is different, and you have to struggle. So,
and let me tell you what the problem. Let me tell you exactly what the problem. Stop, Queen Blue. Let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is this, and this is the problem that black people keep making. And again, they're disadvantaged white people, and nobody's hating on their struggle. But you have a whole dominant society that will set aside certain things for you. The thing is, black people keep using the word minority. And that is the biggest problem. When you say minority, that opens the door for everybody else to come in and get things that were supposed to be set aside for you. So not only will some of these Ivy League schools and some of these other mainstream colleges not let certain black folks in, and they're taking affirmative action away so they really won't let you in now, so they can justify doing it. Now the little HBCUs, people are coming in taking the little scraps from those tables. So black folks are going to have to stop bullshitting with white supremacy because that's the name of the game. White supremacy is there to disenfranchise you from every angle. And we got to become financially independent on our own so that type of shit won't happen. Because when we get philanthropy money and all these monies from other people in the dominant society, they can dictate who they can give that money to or who they want to give it to. So it's up to us to create our own independent entities. So we ain't got to worry about people coming in backdooring us about the money. You feel me?
Gotcha. And that's why I call myself doing what I'm trying to call them out and saying that it was recorded and I want to go on record saying it.
I feel
that's why. And actually the Mexican, we have some Mexican and Puerto Ricans in there. They got very upset when I said that. They're like, oh, well, minorities not this way for women and that was my point.
We got to stop using minority. We got to stop using minority, man. That's another thing. We got to stop using minority and just say, hey, black, we need a program for black folks. There are no programs specifically for black people. We're scared to say we want something for black folks. And we got to start doing that. There's no way around that. But anyway, man. Queen Blue, speaking of your album release, I got the first single from your album right here. This is the video right here, bro. Right here.
Girl, dominate the bitch. Come around booking me, bitch, that's the shit. Dominate your ass, girl, and you get hit. Hoes from uptown, the bitches from downtown. Booking me, bitch, and the face is all around. Every time I come around, book on your ground. Dominate, bitch, and I dominate the whole town. Fuck with me, bitch, you get fucked around.
All right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let me get one more call. I got work to do. I got to finish. I got to do some more watching of Hidden Colors and getting all the little edits together. What's up? Who's calling?
Hello, hey Tariq. This is Akiwanda from Phoenix. I just wanted to say thanks for covering the Bundy case so thoroughly, because that is definitely a big issue that we have in the southwestern United States, and I definitely appreciate the coverage.
Yes, indeed.
I'm actually familiar with that part of Nevada, and those small towns. I actually work out there for a consulting company during the summers, and it's very real, and I see that all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just important, and I thank you for addressing the issue.
Yeah, what's your name again, sweetie?
Akianda.
Where are you? Are you white or black? What are you?
I'm half white, and I'm also half Thai.
Oh, okay, half white and half Thai. There you go. And
half Asian. So I'm a half breed. But I mean, even with my skin with a slight tint, being in those small towns in the Nevada region, people look at me. I mean, I have to live out there during the summer, and people look at me like, "What are you doing here?"
Exactly.
And the way you address it, I definitely appreciate it, because I work dangerously close to Bunkerville. I know that area very well, so I'll definitely be watching myself as I maneuver this summer, because, I mean, my skin is fairly light, and I mean, I still get glances and looks.
They don't play that mix shit. If you ain't white, you black to them to a certain degree. They're like, wait,
exactly.
You look like
and
Paula
it's very
Patton.
interesting there.
Is that Paula Patton over there? They'll make you look like somebody black. You dig? So yeah, they don't give a damn about all that mixed tie, and they don't care about none of that. So yeah, you be careful out there.
There's a lot of Native Americans out there too, and I know there's definitely a large gap between those two different groups of people.
Absolutely.
But thank you for doing great coverage. You're doing a great job.
Yes, indeed.
And good luck with your clothesline. You look great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Y'all better get these clothes. The women are loving these clothes, man. These shirts are on their ass, baby. This is this Egyptian comb cotton. I made sure we got high quality cotton for the clothes to make it real Mac-ish. To make it real Mac-ish. The site for the clothes is TariqElite.com. TariqElite.com. That's the site. All right, y'all. I'm going to keep the music going on Tariq Radio tonight, so don't go nowhere. The music is still going to keep popping right here tonight on Tariq Radio, so do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget to go to TariqElite.com to get the clothes. Go to TariqRadio.com to get the pay-per-view special called Are We in a Post-Racial America? I'm going to holler at you guys on Wednesday's show.